home of the Tony Basilio Show.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony B, welcoming you to another edition on a Too Much to Talk About Tuesday. Fired up, focused, and prepared for you. Ready to reel, rock, and roll with you till the break of dawn. We've got a huge day lined out for you. John Adams is in the house. John, how we doing?
You're not really going to be on until the break of dawn, are you?
Reeling, rocking, and rolling till the break of dawn. Am I recording over here, hon? What's going on? How come I can't see what I'm doing on this thing? Where'd Laura go?
She left.
Okay. I'm going to trust we're recording over here.
Here she is.
Are we recording over here? Where? Oh, that thing. Okay. Let's see if I can do this again. This is fun. What?
You really are dependent on her.
Well, here we go. We're on a Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. John Adams, presented by our friends. Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. It's a Too Much to Talk About Tuesday, as I'm terming this. And I think that's pretty apt and apropos. Since, well, there's too much to talk about. There's just too much to talk about. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, just get on with it.
I mean, there's too much to talk about. You know, at the end of the day, there's just too much to talk. John, there are so many storylines with this season. And you and I talk about this. Like, at times, with that sport, with the crazy sport of college football, we cheer for the story, you know? And there are just so many stories right now. So many stories. It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, there were a lot of stories coming out of Saturday college football. Just some very unexpected turns of event. And what it does, they're great storylines, but it's challenging because you really don't know what to expect. And you think you know who's good, who's bad, who's mediocre, but you really can't be sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you start talking about on our SEC Unfiltered podcast with Blake Topmeyer.
Mm-hmm.
Blake posed a question to me. If you had to pick an SEC team, who's the team you would pick is the most likely to not make the playoffs, but to win a national championship?
Uh-huh. And what is the answer to that?
It is really challenging because everybody's flawed. But, you know, I picked, you know who the teams I thought might be the most likely would be Ole Miss and Tennessee. And here's why. For one, Ole Miss has two quarterbacks who can play.
Yes.
One goes down. We just saw what happened with Oklahoma. I don't like Oklahoma's chances against Texas as bad as Texas looked Saturday because that Michael Hawkins is not a quarterback, but he's playing quarterback with John Mateer hurt.
Yeah, they're going to absorb some losses here.
Yeah, and they've got their schedule's just totally unfair. But I think Alabama's got a lot of tough games left. Still not sure Alabama can run the ball well enough. It did better against Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. But you just go right on down the line. LSU, its offense has just gone off the tracks. Can't run the ball. No run blocking. Nussmeier, I think, is playing with a hurt arm. All that stuff. Georgia just doesn't have the defense. That's an unlikely development because you always think Kirby Smart, he'll have an elite defense, but he really doesn't.
We had a real Tennessee. I mean, we just had a real chance. That was a real golden opportunity.
I mean, Tennessee could be sitting there make a field goal, and you're sitting right there with Ole Miss unbeaten.
Yep.
One of the reasons to like Tennessee is the schedule, because you figure it can get in the playoff. I mean, you pick maybe Oklahoma's the best team in the SEC when John Mateer's playing, but the best team in the SEC can't make it through that schedule. I don't think Oklahoma can make the playoff. Now, Blake disagreed with me. Blake Todmeyer disagreed with me. He thinks Oklahoma at 9-3 gets in. My contention is it's probably going to knock another SEC team out. So Oklahoma at 9-3, Tennessee at 10-2. Oklahoma beats Tennessee. It's in over Tennessee. Same way if it does that to, say, LSU.
Hey, Matt, I'm working on a thing with C tonight, and we're gonna. He's been like really charting ahead, like a lot of the sort of the games of interest, and he thinks the playoff situation is coming into view. This is going to be the part of the year now where we start watching other teams' games and going, okay, is our 10-2 better than their 9-3? Like this is what we're about to get to here, Matt. It's good. Because you're going to have to figure out. We're going to have to sort these teams out at the end of the year because everybody, it looks like, is going to have a loss or two before it's over here.
And in most cases, 2.
Yes, and sorting it out is going to be really hard. Sorting it out is going to be really hard.
But I do think you can get a 9-3 team can make it now.
Hey, listen, Bino said it's a foregone conclusion that a 10-2 Southeastern Conference team gets in. I don't know that that's the case.
Absolutely, yes.
Not if everybody. Well, I mean, it sounds good, but
yeah.
But how many slots are there to go around?
Well, there's
how many SEC teams are getting in? Look at the league right now.
How many 10-2 SEC teams will there be? There's not going to be more than at most maybe 4.
I think there'll be more. There'll be an extra team. There'll be 4 teams from the SEC make it, I think. But I don't know how far they'll go. And when you look at this, what's happened is you take the ACC and Big 12, people want to just shove them off to the side. Oh, they're not the SEC, the mighty Big 10. Those are the 2 power conferences in truth. But Texas Tech out there in the Big 12, the Big 12 is set up if there's a really good team, it can win them all. That's a very balanced league, but one of the most impressive performances I've seen this year was Texas Tech going to Utah.
They spent.
And then Miami, another team that spent.
Yeah.
And I always write I was talking to somebody before last week's game against Florida State. They said they're betting on Miami heavy. I said, well, I just don't trust Carson Beck
or that head coach
kind of game.
Or that head coach.
Well, no, that's another issue. But Carson Beck played great. So, yeah, Miami and Texas Tech look like 2 of the better teams in the country. We can't be sure of that now, but the SEC, there's no team in the SEC that you can look at and say it's without any major weaknesses. There's just that all these teams look flawed. It's the strongest league again, but it's not the strongest at the top.
It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a really compelling run here the next 6 weeks. It's going to be, and we're going to be live at Calhoun's, celebrating the Arkansas weekend on Friday. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. Be down there playing music Friday as well, and then Marcos having a great tailgate in downtown Knoxville. John, are you going to that? Are you going to the Marcos tailgate? Do you know about it? You need to get to it.
What time is it?
It's like in the afternoon. I don't know.
No, Saturday's a work day for me.
Oh, Saturday's a work day for me.
Well, I'm just saying.
We come back on the other side. Saturday's a work day for him. I mean, what am I doing Saturday? I'm playing 3 hours of music.
Well, that's your...
And then I'm going to turn around and stay up all night.
Tony, music is your hobby.
Oh, yeah.
And you just like talking to people.
As we continue with more on the other side.
Not like it's a job.
We double dip with a guest. Brian's double dipping us after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new, high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
T to the B, back with you, 865-200-5402. We're fan running toward the great William Pattison, who will have the playbook coming up on many of these same stations. It is the TLD Logistics Hotline. He is Dudley Dawson. He is the guy with his finger on the pulse of Arkansas. And Dudley, I was talking to you during the break. We were just laughing amongst ourselves here about that. Nico, I'm always going to leave you, who left Penn State in the absolute dust over the weekend and left Penn State's playoff hopes on the cutting room floor, if I can use an LA term, right out there in Tinseltown. Are Arkansas fans annexing the craziness of that game? And are you, Dudley? This is an anything can happen sport, and anything can happen on Saturday.
Certainly it can, and I think there's a clear delineation of fans up here, those who are positive that things are going to move forward, and those who are negative that didn't think anything good's going to happen, and this is just the end of the year. I will tell you that since I talked to you last week, the circus or carnival has moved out of town. Now, it did leave a tilt-a-whirl, a bearded lady, and the merry-go-round. So there's still a few things here, but most of the circus has moved out of town, and they've started to focus on not only Tennessee, but what they might do the rest of the year in terms of looking at coaches and all that. So it was good to see the Carnies here, but they're gone now.
So I got the great John Adams in studio today. Matt Dixon's here, too. We're all curious. What, along with Brian Hartman, who's really basking in the glow of the Jags win last night, what remnants of the circus are left? Because really, that's what I want. Like, if I'm Petrino, I lean into this. I ride a motorcycle out. What do you call that thing and like in wrestling, the wrestling neck brace on, like you just got pile drove down back in the day, back in Bill Watts' territory. What remnants of the circus are still there?
For some reason, all he's pointing to is his success back as a head coach here. He's not playing up that motorcycle riding playboy type thing going on here. As I've said often and probably on this show sometimes, he went from being a player to a grandpa. In fact, he's got several grandkids now, and they're all into sports and at different places around the country. But he's a different fellow. It truly humbled him. I was skeptical on this, while he was enjoying himself here, and I think many people know I knew about it, but that's not my job to be TMZ and all that. I wouldn't go rock the boat because that's just not the way I do things. But that being said, I do think he's strictly focused on being a football coach these days. It is hard to believe this is not some type of coup that happened, but Arkansas set itself up in this way, and he's got 7 games to prove that he can still do it, or prove that they need to move on to what I said last week, and maybe what a lot of people want, and that's somebody with fresh energy who will come to the press conferences and say, hey, this is fantastic we won, or this absolutely sucks that we lost, and I'm going to do something about it instead of, I don't know.
I don't know really doesn't play well, does it, Dudley?
Not at all.
You know, Dudley, when I go back to Petrino early in this year, I remember years in his career. I remember when he was at Louisville, and what he always impressed me with his ability to do is he went with different kinds of quarterbacks. I remember he had a guy from Louisiana playing quarterback for him at Louisville. Can't remember his name. I want to say he was a left-hander, but anyway, he was a runner, kind of, move around, pretty accurate thrower. But he would just have different type players at quarterback, and he could win with them. I always thought he was a really good strategist offensively. And I don't know if along the way, if he's lost some of that. How do you think he is now? Just forget all the stuff that's gone on around him, swirled around him, the controversy and all that kind of stuff. But as a pure offensive coach, how do you think he is now compared to what he was at his peak?
Up till these last 6 quarters that Arkansas had against Memphis and had against Notre Dame, I would have said that he appears to be still in his element, in his prime. Back how he was directing the offense was either in the top 5 or top 10 on total offense and scoring, and you could really tell that they put a lot of their NIL money into the offensive line, to the backs, to the wide receivers, and not much at all into linebackers and secondary guys and enough edge people, rushers and all of that. You could really tell. So I'm anxious to see now that he's running his own show, and I do think that Coach Pittman obviously could make suggestions or recommendations and had the final say, but I think he was running the offense. But he was not enamored at all with what was going on the defense, and which is interesting because they were pretty good last year. Tennessee will remember when they came up here, and Arkansas's defense played really well. Travis Williams was an up-and-comer. As I told y'all last week, he would have been the interim coach last year if this had happened. But now, because the defense had been so bad, not only did he lose the opportunity to do that, but out the door and looking for another job. So I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess would be the thing, to see how Coach Pittman's quiet discipline differs from I'm in your face, and if you don't like that there's been defensive changes and I'm the interim head coach, you need to get over it, because you got to build your brand. If you either play well here and go somewhere else, or you play well here and stay here, but you need to start playing well or you're not going to play at all.
Dudley Dawson, you can follow him on Twitter. He's Dead Sports, Dudley E. Dawson, DED Sports. And he's over at hogville.net, among a few other places. Also does a podcast and some other fun things. Matt Dixon, jump in with Dudley Dawson as we look ahead to Arkansas on Saturday.
Yeah, Dudley, you mentioned Travis Williams, and they had a really great game plan last year and held Tennessee to a season-low 14 points. And especially that first half where Tennessee just kind of was really confused with the 3 high safety looks. But Travis Williams got fired. Arkansas's defense has been just really bad all year, and then obviously kind of quit in that Notre Dame game. What should we expect from Arkansas this week defensively? It seems like a lot of it might have been an effort deal here early in the year, but it's hard to improve it when you're kind of as bad as they are. And you make a coordinator move, get rid of a bunch of guys. What's the defense? Like, what are the expectations for Arkansas defensively going forward?
Well, here's what I tell you. Last year, they had a healthy amount of their money allotted toward defense. Had some really good players, a couple that are in the NFL playing now, and defensive linemen and linebackers and all that. So they had some players over there. They did not invest in that this year. They invested in offense and really just let the defense go. And Travis Williams is going to probably be a head coach down the line. He's going to be a defensive coordinator somewhere, probably next year and all that. It's a lot easier. I mean, you can have all the X's and O's you want to, but as they always say, you got to have the Jimmys and Joes, and they were just not enough over there. And to to even add to that, as y'all said earlier, they just quit. I mean, it was just pathetic. And I rarely call out athletes for quitting because I think it's the worst thing you can do. But that clearly was what happened. They weren't playing for Coach Pittman anymore, weren't playing for the defensive guy. I think the coming in and those three guys would have been out whether Pittman had stayed on or Petrino had been elevated. They had made that decision. But again, back to what I'm expecting on Saturday, I expect them to run to the ball. I expect them to play with more energy, and I expect them to give up about 6-7 touchdowns.
Brian Hartman, jump in.
Yeah, what's Arkansas like typically after a bye week? Heupel's 8-2 overall as a head coach, 4-1 at Tennessee, and he's undefeated at home, 5-0 at both places coming off a bye. I know it's a different coach, but what had Arkansas been under Pittman and this staff coming off a bye week? How have they looked? I don't know if you know the record or not, but I mean, what could Tennessee expect?
Right around 500. Yeah, right around 500 with Coach Pittman. And the one thing I will say is that over the course of these last few years, they always got one at somebody else's place, be it Florida, a couple of other places along the way. They usually got one. That if Arkansas had a legitimate defense, then I would tell you that I think this might be a spot they might could get one because of the off week and because they would be coming in and Tennessee might be overlooking them. But yes. I know Coach Heupel has done a great job in his bye weeks and also has done a really good job at dealing with his injuries and building his team up to this point in the year. Yes, Mississippi State played really well, and I thought Tennessee was done there at the end, but superstar Jory Aguilar came through along with the defense, and they got that through there.
I'm jealous of that. I wish I'd have thought of that. He's a 6-star quarterback. Dudley, you never cease to amaze me. That's an interesting question Bri asked because it's almost like in today's game, sometimes that bye week can be a reset. Another thing that's happened in sports down through the years, or the off week, I call it off week, but anyway.
Hey, man, everybody around here during this off week just bitched. I mean, I'm just going to be real clearly about that.
I got
players with their emojis on social media, the coaches, the fans, the media.
Everybody's bitching.
It was a bitch fest.
Hey, it's great. I'm in talk radio. I love that stuff. Look, here's the thing. Sometimes, though, you change coaches. You guys tell me why this is. UCLA changes coaches, okay? Now, it didn't happen the first week for them. But the second week, they went absolutely off on Penn State. Usually it's that first game out, though. I'm hearing a fresh voice. Now, I don't know if Petrino is going to be able to do that because he's not like a warm and fuzzy guy, but who knows? Maybe these guys needed a not jerked in them. Is there any sense of unpredictability added to this game in as much as they made that change? Because Matt was talking about, like, what are they going to do different defensively? Surely Petrino's got some ideas. Surely they're looking at their personnel. What do you think, Dudley? Is there a chance that this thing can get kind of interesting Saturday?
Yeah, I do think they'll play much better defensively. But, again, that's such a low bar with what they did against Notre Dame and really against Memphis in the second half. I do think the voice and discipline and just all up in your face that Coach Petrino will do has an opportunity to get them to play better. And there's some talent there. There's just not enough. But do I think they can go and beat this Tennessee team on Champions Weekend over there, honoring Coach Dickey and all those others? I think it's going to be awfully tough because there's a lot ahead for Tennessee. They still got a lot of goals and all that. And we're just sitting around here wondering what's the next shoe to drop. Hey, Rhett Lashley, how you doing? How about you, John Summerall, Ryan Silverman? Hey, John Gruden, did you talk to John Daly again this week? That's really what's going on over here. The game will be a nice distraction.
Well, and John Gruden, that's interesting, right? Is he going to be a candidate there, you think?
Say that again?
Is Gruden going to be a candidate there?
I think that John Gruden is a candidate at every spot all over the United States. And didn't he do y'all's the touchdown club there this week?
Yeah, he
Did
loves
one,
attention.
did one here in Little Rock. Yeah, he gets all that. I mean,
he needs
he
it,
is
man.
He's the most available, non-available head coach out there. I think he and John Daly are good friends, but you can find him and Peyton Manning are good friends. All
He's
that.
good friends, everybody.
I would love, if it's just up to me, I'd love to have John Gruden or Deion Sanders come here and coach, simply because of what I'm going to do these last few years of my career, write interesting, great stories. I want to hear fantastic quotes instead of "I don't know."
I don't know that.
Am I right, John? Am I right?
Yeah, that pretty much leaves you in a gunfight without a gun. There's not much you can do with "I don't know."
I don't know. Kind of hurts, doesn't it, guys? So here's a good little aside. You mentioned Doug Dickey, who's going to be in town this week. He's in his 90s. Doug Dickey was on Frank Broyles' staff as an assistant coach before he was hired by the Vols in 1964. He was at Arkansas from 1957 to 1963, and that is a very interesting little factoid heading into this weekend. You can't make that up, John. That's cool.
No.
The Arkansas has had some good head coaches. They've had some great
assistants.
Well,
Jimmy Johnson came out of there.
Yeah, and Frank Broyles is one of the all-time greats in college football.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really good player, really good coach, AD, and
incredible
analyst,
assistant
TV
coaches.
Analyst.
The guy, if you look at his tree,
doesn't wait till game 5 to fire the head coach either. Sometimes he'll go in game 2.
He got his second game with Jack Crow?
Yeah, he got him in game 2.
The Citadel.
You know how as time passes, I forget things that I was thinking. I was thinking that he fired him at halftime of the first game.
Probably wanted to,
but it was but Frank Broyles, I mean, that guy he did so much. He did everything you could do in college football: player, coach, AD, and a sports analyst on TV.
Dudley, you told us something.
One of the greatest things of my journalistic career was getting to go to his office. He'd just call some of us every once in a while. Come in, I want to talk. And I'm 20 or 30 or whatever, and he'd ask me, my thoughts on things, and it was just a joy to be there and learn from that, and know that later on when I covered other ADs and coaches, whatever, that when they were saying stuff to me, I just knew that's BS,
Well, that's right, and those guys are so fun. Like after the fact to talk to, because the guard's finally down. It's like I'm here because I enjoy being here, and I'm here because it's inside of me to be here. But, we're talking about Arkansas. You said something to me last week that I just hadn't left my mind. And I want to make sure I understood you. Were you just saying that in jest last week when you said that the Walmart people are investing more in the Missouri program football than they are in the Arkansas football program? Were you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In just most of the Waltons graduated from Missouri or have an affinity toward Missouri. Obviously Donald W. Reynolds and Bud Walton were both Arkansas supporters, but the rest of them, including Rob Walton and some others, have an affinity for Missouri, and they got a lot of money in their NIL and treasure chest and all that. And one of the reasons is because, let me just go ahead and say this. One of the reasons is because the last two athletic directors here have not cozied up to the fans and boosters the way that the previous ones did.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking to myself while you said that last week, I thought, I think Dudley's just having some fun with us. Because the only way you could get to that spot is if you quit going to those people and saying, hey, we love you. All you got to say to those people is, hey, you have a seat at the table. It's not that hard, John.
No,
you have a seat at the table.
You go to them and say, what can I do for
you? And you don't even mean it. You don't even mean it.
I expect Walton Goggins to be named the new head coach here at Fayetteville after his new Walmart commercials. But here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people know. Bentonville is closer to the Missouri line than it is Fayetteville Stadium.
Yeah, but still, Dudley. I mean, like
I'm
John
just
said.
saying,
Well,
I'm just doing logistics.
So
having fun,
I love
as
you,
said.
though. I love you because you're not afraid to call it out.
But Dudley,
You're calling it out. I love that.
What about the basketball program? They're invested in John Calipari, right?
Probably because he asked for the money.
Absolutely.
Because he asked for the money.
Anything he wants, he's going to get.
Because he asked for the money, though.
So what if
Yes, and because he does it in a way, and he
like Barnes does.
Kept up friends over the years.
You can't
here,
be afraid.
obviously, in Arkansas.
You can't listen. Rick Barnes has shown me here. The way he works at Haslam's, you can't. You have to work. You have to ask for the order. You have to.
I got a point.
To have two ADs that didn't ask for the order there is a disgrace.
Is it easier? It's got to be easier to raise money for John Calipari than it is for someone like Chad Morris, right?
Yeah, and
people are
going to
their donors are going to be more willing to put money towards
Sam Pittman. The same difference.
But you know what? Again, I want to encourage the kids this week because you're playing Arkansas. Go back and look at Arkansas's history. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I'm 58. When I was a kid, Arkansas football was right there with the top programs in the sport. Coming out of the 60s into the 70s, all those incredible head coaches that started there. I mean, it's insane, their history. And for them to be left like roadkill on the side of the road in the modern era, John, just makes no sense to me, especially when you consider the Walton thing, until Dudley says what he just said, which is
Missouri,
they quit asking for the prize, and now Missouri has the players.
So don't you think
that's interesting?
If they were totally invested in Arkansas and didn't care if Missouri got a nickel, could they have a robust NIL program where they could afford to build an offense and a defense, do you think, Dudley? If all those people got behind Arkansas and invested totally in Arkansas, how different would it be, do you think?
Well, Eli Drinkowitz would be the head coach here instead of at Missouri. That all happened in one night at a Hampton Inn when they went to visit him when he was coaching, obviously at his previous start. And Eli's, Coach Drinkowitz, excuse me, because I try to be respectful, when you're a head coach, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be in the social media these days. 8 people, I think I told you last week, at least 8 people turned this job down when it was finally offered to Coach Pittman, who readily accepted it and said, I'd take it even if they didn't pay me. But they ended up paying him $39.6 million over the course of this last 6 years in the buyout. And he's already got his house for sale up here, and we're moving down to his mansion down there in Hot Springs. He's good. He's good. I mean, he did a great job in resurrecting it from Chad Morris. But, again, that was such a low level. But it would be totally different if all the money from Walmart and Stevens were incorporated into the university right now. But you not only hired a coach that couldn't really raise money and an athletic director who wasn't really good, you also started taking games out of Little Rock, and that's where the Stevens money is down there.
Well,
why would you do that? Why would you take games out of Little Rock? Again, I'm back to that. What do you do?
Well, because everybody wants
a full stadium in Fayetteville versus a full stadium in Little Rock. It's $5 million more.
Hey, John, though.
Yeah, but you could get that. You
can get that money back from those boosters.
Here's another thing.
That's
when
right.
you brought up the John,
short-sighted, man.
The John Gruden circus.
Yeah.
John Gruden could get those financial backers.
Oh, immediately.
He would put his arm around them and say, "Man, let's hang out."
Yeah, that's what the smart people in these sports, the smart head coaches, get to know those people that have money. It's your job.
Hey, we all
it's not
agree.
that hard.
I agree. We all agree on that. But the one thing that John Gruden has to do is actually commit to doing it.
Oh, he's not doing it.
He's a much better candidate than he is realistic.
He's perfect for the social media
Groomers,
area.
The groomers.
Yep. You know what he
Well-
is? You know what he is?
And that's Grumors, not the.
Yeah,
the
he's a groomer guy. And here's the thing about him. He had everybody. We were having apparitions of John Gruden here like 7 or 8 years ago. Like literally, people were having apparitions of the guy. Like he was appearing to people in the clouds. The thing about Gruden is he's perfect for this age. He's a social media influencer. That's what he is. It's perfect that he's with the Barstool people because that's what they do. They make a lot of noise and get attention, and that's his role. Make a lot of noise, get attention. He's not going to coach somewhere.
But
It's a
here-
joke.
No, and if he got back into college coaching, he'd have to have somebody else do his emails. I mean, that's just it.
Well, remember,
Interesting.
here's the thing. Imagine a young Frank Broyles coming along now. He would get that NIL
They
money.
all would.
Frank Broyles would get that
all
NIL
would.
money. You had back in I'm old enough to remember when Darryl Royal was coaching Texas and Frank Broyles was at Arkansas, and they're
classic.
competing for national titles.
But here's the thing, guys. You
Coach
don't think
Broyles would go up to Walmart, would drive to Bentonville and talk to the Walmart people there. He'd sit down and
There you
he'd say,
go.
I need some money. They'd ask him how much, and they'd give it to him.
Well, here's the thing. Back then, those guys went to those boosters and said, "Hey, we're getting a linebacker out of Dentonville, Texas. I need your help." Come on now.
Yes.
That's how it
Yes.
worked. That's
Oh,
how it
absolutely.
worked from time immemorial. And now all of a sudden, you're just going to ignore. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. I know it's a Tennessee show, but man, that pisses me off that you could be that complicit in the downfall of something that's. And those fans are cool. Arkansas fans, to me, John, have always been like fun, and it's a fun. They're a fun group. They've got a good history. There's no reason for them not to throw a formidable team on the field.
Well, that's though.
Vanderbilt's doing it, John.
SMU has entered the chat.
There you go. I mean, but you know what? Vanderbilt's doing it right now, guys. Vanderbilt's playing.
Who is investing money in Vanderbilt football?
Well, I'll tell you two people that are down there. Their kids are down there. The guy that started Yahoo, what's his name? The think tank guy. Somebody help me out here. The guy that used to own the Mavericks. Cuban.
Mark Cuban?
He has a kid there. And then there's another mogul I heard the other day. They got a kid there.
Yeah, but what? Just because they got a kid there, they're going to throw their money at Vanderbilt football?
They want to win. You want to
Hey,
win while your
somebody's
kid's
paying
there.
somebody
Somebody's paying
something.
somebody.
Somebody's going out and reaching out to them and trying to. That's what they're doing.
It's another somebody done somebody wrong. song.
Somebody's getting the Cuban and say, "Hey, your kid goes here. Why don't you help us out?
Why don't you help us? You don't want your kid to go to terrible football games. Hey, Dudley, tell the living listener how they can find you, and much love. Thank you, brother.
No problem. Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast, hogville.net, and Fearless Friday. I still keep my hand in high school football because even though it's a small little thing in December now, I still think high school football is important.
I agree with that. Thank you, my friend. I've dedicated a good part of my life to high school football. Dudley appears on our TLD Logistics hotline. They're online at tldlogistics.com. Matt, how angry would we be in this market if we had athletic directors that ignored the Haslams and just said, you know what, we just kind of don't need them anymore. They're billionaires. There's a damn Walmart on every corner in North America.
Well, here's
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But I know it is. But you get
and they
these.
sell Tyson chicken at all those Walmarts too.
That's exactly right. I mean, think about that. They've got
I think that's who Calipari's close to is the
Tyson chicken.
Tyson
people.
chicken guy.
It's all the same. No, that's the number one job of an athletic director today.
Yes,
it's not necessarily to make your fans happy. It's to raise the money, which not only sustains everything, but is the only way you have a chance to win now in the rev share era.
But see, you get these guys that come up. It's sort of almost like a corporate chain, and they think you do this and you do that, and this is part of your job.
Yep.
And they totally miss the big picture. I mean, that's more important than anything at Arkansas.
And
if that's all you can do, if you can't hire a volleyball coach or a soccer coach or anybody, who cares? If you can get those people to support your program, particularly in this era.
All right, let's talk football.
Moneyball.
Matt, you and I have not talked since this Nico thing. And yesterday we did a thing, and we put it on the blog today. What I believe, two things I believe about college football after watching the weekend. I want you and John to give me a couple of observations. Because that Nico thing is the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. And look, people were telling me a couple weeks ago, why do you keep talking about Nico? Tennessee and Nico, listen, are linked, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or it just is the way it is. It's going to be that way all year. And you have to admit to yourself right now that you were watching that game. There were two huge games going on in our window. And this is the first time I've said this today, or into the microphone. Yesterday, everybody had an opinion on the Nico game. You know why? Because everybody was watching it in this audience. So let's just all be honest about it. John, isn't that the truth? Everybody in this footprint was looking. Yeah, we had two huge games going on.
Well, look, we said that from the going into this season. We were talking about in one of our staff meetings. We were talking about Nico. People are going to care about UCLA.
Yep.
There's a lot of Nico haters out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much interest in Nico.
Yes.
And so whatever he does, there's going to be interest in it. And our analytics support that. People read these stories about, I think the most traffic I got on a column this football season was the first week I did one on Nico.
People are interested in it.
Yeah, because they're, as you said, they're intertwined.
Yeah.
And what was amazing to me watching Nico was against Penn State that's what I thought we were going to see at Tennessee. We're just going to see this guy running around, scrambling, eluding tacklers, making plays. We got a glimpse of that, a glimpse of it in the Citrus Bowl against Iowa when he was a freshman. But then I thought that's what we got, and we never saw that. It was like we never saw the guy, what he's capable of doing. And I'm not all of a sudden saying he's a great pro prospect, but
right.
As a college player, guy just going out there on sheer athleticism. I mean, this was no intricate game plan as how to attack Penn State. Penn State didn't know what hit it.
Well, here's my confession to you, and Matt, I want you in on this because I'm gonna lay this to the audience here. I found myself as the game was going along. I grew up in a Penn State family. Okay, I feel so good for that kid. And when they blocked that punt to get within 6 points, Penn State did, and they were getting ready to reel them in and do what was going to happen, what we all knew was going to happen. He ran like he was on Patrol Live, okay? in that next set of that next series, and led them to a touchdown. I feel so good for that kid. His father put him in a horrible spot. And I feel so good for him that he had that moment on national television. I think that's, no matter what happens for him the rest of the season, I feel good for him in that. Matt, your thoughts on what we witnessed and anything else comes to your mind about this crazy sport right now? It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the most inexplicable result of the season by a wide margin. And it's really, it kind of blends the best and kind of the worst of the sport right now with, Nico leaving and going out there to an awful spot. And then you have Jerry Neuheisel, who's like a UCLA lifer. I think he was like a walk-on quarterback there and just kind of never even used a headset. And he becomes their OC, a team that hadn't even led in a game all year. And they went wire to wire, the Rick Neuheisel on the CBS desk, all that. That's just the beauty of college football and how that kind of intertwined. But no, and good for Nico. I mean, they just. Obviously Penn State wasn't ready to play, but UCLA was, and just it was one of those magical days. And Nico was just a really good runner. Maybe Jim Knowles listened to our show too much, and he heard you talk about Nico not being a willing runner. You just beat that point home to death. And to go on what John said, I think that was coached out of him here. They tried to – he's a much better runner than he is kind of a pocket passer, and that wasn't really the scouting report on him. But, I mean, it's very evident that he's a really dynamic runner in the open field. Not sure you can do that for over 12 games and survive it with the way he was lowering his shoulder. But that was just an awesome game. I mean, even if you took the Tennessee factor with Nico out, that's an awesome game to watch for college football and just to see. Just a stunning result that eliminates the number 2 preseason team from the playoffs.
And Matt, I really think Tennessee, it's got Nico, and it's worried about he's got to get through a 12-game or longer season. We can't have him running around. I'm sure Tennessee saw glimpses of this player that he was. It had to know that it's in there. But so I think they stressed so much, you got to take care of yourself. We can't afford for you to get injury. And so with good intentions, but in doing that, it took away Nico's greatest gift, his ability to play intuitively, instinctively, and to make plays and to create good out of bad, which is what he did all day against Penn State. You can't. I mean, I tell you, when I was watching him, who he reminded me of, I go way back to my childhood and think about Roger Staubach and Archie Manning just scrambling around, making the team around them so much better. I really thought before that game that UCLA was the worst Power 4 team in the country. I just watching them, and
I'm still not sure they're not.
Well, they may be,
but he on that day, just that day, it's like, and Matt, that's a very profound thing that Matt says is it gives you the very best, and because he's in that spot for the very worst of the sport, which is Matt's implication with that statement.
Yeah,
his father's complicitness in putting him in that position. That kid didn't. That kid just being a dutiful son and listening to us. We've been through that, but the Jerry Neuheisel thing and the way they're insetting the father while the game's going on. Listen, I come from a Penn State background. Those people were dog cussing those CBS people for doing that. Could you imagine, John, us being on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction? This awful football team that the Vols are favored by 26.5 points over, just ran all over us, and the father's up there jumping up and down on set, on the screen, like in the picture while the game's going on. They made a total mockery of the football game itself because his son, as Chris Gray said yesterday on the air, looks like my sister, her photos when she was in 8th grade over at Bearden Middle School. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, and see, you go back, think back, one of the best stories in college football this year has been Joey Aguilar.
Yes.
The much-traveled Joey Aguilar, who was told you can't play at this level. Can't play at this level. You definitely can't play at this level. And he says, yeah, I can play at this level. And so isn't it interesting that one of the best stories in college football is a Tennessee quarterback, and now another former Tennessee quarterback is one of the best stories in college football.
And, John, they will stay linked together the rest of the year. And I'm proud of Nico, really. I'm serious. Because the kid showed a lot of fight. I called him a flatliner on here, kind of a deadbeat quarterback. Didn't raise the level of guys around him. And he didn't do that here.
No,
we did not see
we
that
never
guy
saw
for
that.
1 second. Not for one series, not for one play did we see that guy.
No. I just
remember, that was crazy.
When he got in the it was as though when he got in the open field for Tennessee, he was thinking, okay, now where should I go down? Where should
Right.
Remember the play where he he was thinking so much. That play where he just ran out of bounds as time
Fourth
ran.
down.
Who does that?
Listen.
Besides Joe Milton.
Well,
But
you know, Matt, here's a thing conclusion I've come to with Nico is never underestimate the power of desperation in our lives. All of us.
On patrol live, running away.
That's true.
Got to get out of here.
Hey, that adrenaline that was going through his body. Hey, Matt, I wonder if word had gotten back to his family that, hey, next year nobody wants you in this sport. They don't see you as a Power 4 quarterback because they're shopping themselves. I wonder if that desperation, Matt, played into what he did Saturday because that's what it looked like. He looked like a desperate guy out there fighting for his life.
Yeah, I mean, it might have. I don't know. I mean, they have fallen. I mean, that team is so bad.
So bad.
I mean, literally didn't have a pulse all season, and to rise up and it sounded like from some of the stuff I read that Nico kind of took over the locker room after the coaching changes and kind of rallied the troops and like took ownership of everything, which.
Again,
I mean, nobody else on that team could do that, and that's he probably couldn't do that here because he wasn't good enough on the field. But like it's just an incredible game, and it just, I mean, it's just such a stunning result. Probably the most stunning result. I mean, Bama losing at Vandy last year was stunning, especially in the moment. It's not as stunning looking back, but probably since Tennessee went to South Carolina and lost in 22. I mean, that's a playoff team that is like a 4-touchdown favorite and literally, gets embarrassed by a team that was dead.
And the commonality there is Spencer Rattler, who turned out to be a pretty good story in that he was Caleb Williams, took his job, shows up as a freshman,
desperation,
takes his job in Oklahoma, and now is at a bad South Carolina team. Not a good offensive line, just playing out the string. And he had the game of his life against Tennessee, against a playoff contender. So, I go back, Brian and I were exchanging texts during the game. It was a Friday night game. UCLA was playing New Mexico. Nobody in the Rose Bowl. Nobody there. In New Mexico, just lining up and running off tackle, play after play after play, and UCLA couldn't stop. And I said, they're not winning a game. UCLA is not. If they lose to Northwestern, they won't win a game, and they lost to Northwestern.
Yeah, they got just manhandled by them, and then backdoor covered. We're going to take a brief timeout. When we continue, Matt has ranked the SEC teams. We're going to grade him live on the air. I'm going to endeavor to do that tomorrow. I would encourage anybody to take out your phone and try to rank the SEC teams. Just 1 through whatever you want to do. It is so freaking hard. It's like that quarterback list we did a couple weeks ago. It is so freaking hard to try and tell one team from another in this crazy league right now. I mean, it has never been harder. And God knows who's going to be standing at the end of the year in this thing. But we'll get some calls in as well. We're going to grade Matt's work over at tclub.team. Check it out. Check out the blog. Plus, many of your comments, your observations of college football are in the blog today as well. You dominated the blog today. Tomorrow on the blog, C's going to help me with this. We're going to do kind of a mid-season teams you need to root for, teams you need to root against in the playoff hunt for Tennessee. Because we're getting ready to get to that point where we're going to be scoreboard watching. And I'm going to tell you something. Being in a market where your team's alive is a lot of fun. And the way you remain alive is you beat the teams on your schedule you're supposed to beat. And one of those games is Saturday. You cannot do what Penn State did at UCLA because you will not live to tell about it. You can't lose one of those games on your schedule, whether it's at home or on the road as we continue with more Hour 2 after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place that's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. We're having a robust conversation off the air. Several people that listen to us either on the Twitter video thing or the Twitter Spaces heard our conversation there, but the spirit of what we're doing here, there's just so much to talk about that we're even filling our timeouts here with it. Let me keep this live and legal and local because I'm not sure if I did this, but let's do it.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
So we're going to go to our phones on a day where we just continue to try and make sense of where we are in college football. And we're not alone because this is an endeavor that's going on around the country. And if you do what we're doing and you're smart, you lean into this because it's a lot of fun. There are so many things to talk about. There are so many takes that you can have in real time. Today over at tclub.team/TonyBasilio.com, Matt Dixon went ahead and listed his squads and did his rankings. And Matt has Alabama 1. John, you do a ranking each week for your chain over at the News Sentinel, where you combine, which is a good idea, the SEC and the Big Ten, which essentially is going to give you probably, I would think, seven playoff teams, maybe 8 combined out of that lot before it's over. Probably 8, thinking about it. 5 and 3. 5 from this league, 3 from their league would be my guess. Who knows? Last year it was, what was it, guys? 4-3. They
Four,
got
four
in
Big
the,
Ten. Yeah, because Indiana sneaked in there. So
here are Matt's rankings. Okay. Matt has Alabama 1. Then we'll go to the phones. Matt has Alabama 1, Ole Miss 2, Georgia 3, A&M 4, Oklahoma 5, and the Vols at 6. How's that stack up, John, to what you came up with? And then we'll go to the phones.
Okay, and what I'm doing, I'm not saying that this is how I think they'll finish.
Right.
But just based on what they've accomplished, I would go with Oklahoma 1. I put a lot of stock in that Michigan win. Ole Miss 2nd, big win against LSU. Texas A&M 3rd, the big win at Notre Dame. Those are all, to me, significant games. Then I go to Alabama. I know Alabama's playing really well right now, but I don't just discount that Florida State game. They got manhandled in that game. And I don't think Alabama, it's not as bad as it looked in that game, but it's not as good as it looked when it jumped on Georgia and got that big lead. Then I would go with Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU. But when I look at then I would, I didn't.
Where's Missouri?
Missouri. See, I've got.
See, that's what's crazy about the league. There are it's 8 or 9 deep to where you could say, well, this team, could make the playoff. This team could do this, or this team could catch fire if they get healthy. And the Vols are in the middle of that. Hey, Matt, when you think about your rankings, right? Are you ranking them like John is for the moment, or how they're going to finish? Like, how do you think about your rankings as you do that?
A little of everything. I try to project ahead. I try to value, what teams have done on the field.
Yep.
And just kind of all of it. I usually like to put them in tiers, and I couldn't really do that. I think Kentucky's by far the worst team in the league. But after that, like Mississippi State, I think is a credible team. Arkansas can at least score. We'll see how they look defensively after these changes. Florida's obviously really talented and just beat Texas. Like it's hard to put them in tiers because they're all just really compacted together. But I just kind of I do a little bit of everything when I rank them. So I could do it if I did it today. I'd probably have a different list, to be honest.
It's really
hard. To do.
Well, that's what I was saying before we went to the break, and then we'll go to the phones. But when you're doing this, you do, if you're thoughtful, right? You could sit there and argue with yourself, like, why am I? Because how do I separate one of these teams from another? It's nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to do that. And that's kind of how good the league is. But it's also how there just aren't any great teams. Like Matt in his thing has Auburn way down at 14. I think Auburn's going to beat his number 1 team this week. I think Auburn's going to get Georgia. Now, I called the Alabama-Georgia loss earlier in the year. I look at Georgia, and I say they might be right now the best team in the league, or among the best teams in the league, or whatever, wherever Matt has. Where's Matt have Georgia? He has right near the top. He has them at 3. When you talk about a league, and I'm on the air, and I haven't been drinking, and I think Team 14 is going to beat Team 3.
Well,
and you guys aren't laughing at me. It could happen.
No, because we just saw Florida beat Texas. Florida had won one game, and here's the thing.
That's the point.
Here's 2 teams that don't even come up when you're talking about ranking, Auburn and Florida. I thought going into the season, Auburn might be the most improved team in the league. And it didn't get blown out by Oklahoma. That was a reasonably close game. And you point out, would you be shocked if Auburn beat Alabama in the last game of the year?
No, sir.
Not in that rivalry.
No, sir.
Certainly not. And Florida now, when you look at what Florida's done, their defense is better. Florida's better than I thought it would be. It's funny to say that because it's 2-3.
Yeah.
But the team it puts on the field, I still think Florida's biggest problem is coaching, not players. It's much better in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, than I thought it would.
Mauled that poor Texas team, John, to your point.
Yeah.
That was a mauling, guys.
I-
It's real, like, and I'm a guy that has fun with the whole Arch Manning thing. Why not? And it's been sort of a, kind of a weird deal for him. And Bino was giving me hell about it yesterday. But the truth is, you could have put any quarterback back there in college football Saturday, and he wouldn't have succeeded. That kid had zero. First of all, he's got zero chance anyway because he's fighting himself. But he had zero chance Saturday. Zero.
Who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Nico against Oklahoma last year for Tennessee. I know Tennessee won the game.
Just overwhelmed.
But he looked overwhelmed, and he wasn't trusting his instincts.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to think, okay, I gotta go through my progressions here. I've got to look. No. You got to run for your life. That's what you got to do.
Hey, Matt, that's a kid right there that looks like he could benefit from some Jerry Neuheisel coaching. The Jerry Neuheisel the playbook, Matt.
Just go out there and wing it.
Yeah, well, he might need UCLA's offensive line too. I mean, because that was
guys,
unbelievable how bad they are. Like Arch it gets all the headlines, and it's for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
and they preseason #1 team. That is a very poorly coached team. That team just looks awful.
Awful.
Just that offensive line,
awful,
terrible. They had 2 plays where they could have downed a punt, like inside the Florida 2-yard line, and they were touchbacks. Like those could be game changing. Like that's just a very poorly coached team. I don't know what's going on there because they were really solid last year, and I guess they lost some of those kind of gamer, like really good college players that aren't great pros. But that team just doesn't look well coached at all. And Arch isn't great, and I mean he might barely be average, but he's far from their biggest issue.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
He's an issue, but he's not. It's kind of like UCLA.
Yeah.
Well, Nico's not their biggest issue.
No, and you look at Texas, and I think Texas had a really good offensive line last year. Lost a lot of key guys, but we think of Texas with their recruiting, with their NIL money and their transfer portal, they'll go get. You just assume they'll be good in the offensive line because they can pay and they can recruit. And even their receivers, they lost some key receivers, but people just assume that, well, who's the guy, Ryan Wingo? I mean, you think these guys are going to step up. They really haven't. I didn't see it was hard. It's hard to tell on TV, but it didn't look like their receivers were getting open.
Hey, Florida guys, I'm telling you right now, you throw dirt on them if you want. They might incur some losses before us. They are awesome on defense. Not good, not very good. Imagine, guys, if you put a decent offense with that defense they have. John, they're on the field all the time in these games. All the time.
Well,
they're really good.
What's going to happen with
what they do with Miami? Go back to that Miami game.
Oh, I know.
It was an absolute street fight for the ages.
Yeah.
And they turned it into a street fight. They put that Miami team, who might be the best team in the country, because they really spent a lot of money. And by the way, this Thomas kid that they got from the Vols went crazy Saturday night. That's what the thing about this area is. You got former players. Like, who was it the week before that got trampled for us? Our former receiver guys?
Squirrel White.
Squirrel White.
You got guys that are in the middle of everything now. Like all these teams do.
Here's I think what's Florida's problem, though. By the time Florida gets to Tennessee, I think the defense might have just caved in. Too much on it. Too many losses. It's not going to hold up against that schedule. The offense is too... And the coaching, that's the biggest problem with Florida. Florida should be able to, gosh, with that receiver they got, Dallas Wilson.
Oh my gosh,
he looked like an NFL receiver right there, like one of those.
He's 18.
Yeah, he looks
like
another
one of these freak guys.
Yeah, one of those.
Florida's going to get hammered, I think, by A&M.
I don't think they'll get hammered. I think they'll hold their own and they'll slow down. They will make it hard for A&M to run and force Marcel Reed to make plays.
He's going to feel it.
Yeah, when he's running that zone read, he will get hit.
Hammered. So many compelling games, guys, coming up. I mean, let's go to the phones. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was just going to say, Florida's issue is they can only win games like one way. Like they have to be that ball control with a lead, like they jumped out Saturday. They can't come from behind, and especially the way Napier coaches, they're really conservative. You run the play clock down. You like to do play actions. Like they have to have a lead. Like if you get them down 10-0 or 14-0 early in a game, they're in a whole lot of trouble.
I like to see that.
But
Wilson
I mean,
guy
again, you could say that about a lot of teams. I mean, Vanderbilt's kind of that way. Also, they kind of have to play with a lead and just shorten games. But when you can do that and the game script goes your way, you can beat just about anybody.
I'm not doing this thing I was doing last week, which is Florida's going to incur a bunch of losses. I didn't see a team that's going to lose a ton of games.
I still think it will, Tony.
I don't know, guys.
I think a lot of that. I think a lot of that game Saturday.
When you defend like that, man, it's tough.
Well, but
there's like 2 road wins in the league.
LSU has a great defense, but its offense has become a huge hindrance. LSU reminds me now, Florida. It's supposed to have this first-round draft pick at quarterback. I believe Nussmeier is injured.
Yeah, I do too.
But, my gosh, put Michael Van Buren in there and run the ball. But they can't run the ball. So, I just think when you rely that much on defense in today's game, eventually the defense gives way.
That's why what the Vols did last year was pretty damn remarkable. And the running back we had, I didn't appreciate at the time. That is just a remarkable accomplishment to work around a quarterback in this day and age and get home. I don't care whether your schedule's easy, hard. You're playing in the Southeastern Conference, and to get home at 10-2 is a hell of an accomplishment. And we'll go to the phones.
And it's going to be an accomplishment for anybody in this league to get to 10-2 this year.
Oh, they're going to beat.
What if you end up with a world? What if you end up with 7, 9, and 3 teams? Try sorting that out.
To the phones we go, and it can all begin to happen this weekend if that Auburn team gets Georgia. That throws the whole league in chaos if that happens. Now you got total chaos.
See, what if Auburn and Georgia Tech both beat Georgia? It's got 3 losses, but it knocks off Ole Miss and Texas.
To the phones we go. And the combinations, like John's talking about, the potential combinations are just pretty damn crazy. Let's go to the phones. We'll take them in the order we got them on your TLD Logistics phone lines. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Madison in Texas. How you guys doing?
Hey, Madison. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you guys. Yeah, it is a volatile sport right now, and as somebody who's trying to gamble on this stuff, I mean, it's just all over the board. I'm losing credibility as a picker faster than Mark in Colombo is losing credibility as a quarterback evaluator. So that's another story.
Poor Mark in Colombo, man.
Hey,
he was throwing dirt on our guy last week, Aguilar, and then he declared Nico dead, a bust. And then he went out and went off. Come on, Colombo, be better, man. You can do better.
Well, as
he
far
can
as
do better, Tony.
I'll give you a betting. I'll give you a betting tip this week.
All right, hit it.
Who did I rely on all last year? Kent State to lose. I'm picking Kent State to beat the spread and win against UMass.
Let's freaking go, man.
3.5-point favorite.
Why not? The Titans even won a game on Sunday. Why not?
Kent State's favored?
Yes. Matt, check out UMass. UMass lost to Bryant. And that's not named after Bear Bryant. That's a school I think in Rhode Island. What?
Brian, what's Bryant's nickname? Are they the Kobe's?
Bryant.
Just say Tigers.
I have no idea.
The Bryant Tigers.
The Bryant Houndstooths.
There you go,
the Bryant Bears.
So, Madison, what do you think? Bulldogs. Madison, help us make sense of this. What do you think?
Well, guys, I mean, I think with Matt putting the balls at 6, right on the outside of the playoff looking in, we got a lot of work to do. But I think we're a good team. I think that's pretty accurate. Again, it's a probability sport, and we're trying to use previous results to reflect future performance. And it doesn't always work that way because we don't have all the answers to the questions. We just don't have all the data that we need. So, but it makes for fun conversations. And you guys were talking about this Penn State UCLA game, and I was listening to the broadcast. I think you guys might find this interesting if you haven't already mentioned it. So only 5 times in college football history, going back to the 1800s, or I guess since the AP poll has been out, a 0-4, an 0-4 with or worse winless team has not defeated a top 10 ranked opponent since 1985, and only 5 times in history. Can you guys believe that?
Say that again so I can understand it. Only
An
5 times in
0-4
the history of the poll.
An 0-4 team.
0-4 or worse.
Or worse.
Has only defeated a top 10 ranked opponent 5 times. On Saturday it was the 5th time. Hasn't happened since 1985. And I'd also be interested to know, right, because UCLA has been wire to wire. They haven't led all year.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the only time that's happened, Tony. This could be one of the worst. I mean, I think it is. It's one of the biggest upsets in college football history we just witnessed.
And UCLA may never lead again either.
You know what's funny, guys? Because I come from a Penn State family, right? And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding about this. They want that guy absolutely fired. Like,
oh, there's no coming back from that loss, which I can't remember who said it, but it was probably the line of the weekend, your big game James thing. It actually was a big game for Franklin because it was at the Rose Bowl. Like, I wish I could. I had a lot of window time over the week, or driving time over the week. I can't remember who said that, but it was the line of the weekend.
Madison, who won that? You said the last upset of that magnitude was in 1985. Do you know which teams were involved in that?
Let's see. I don't have that with my data right here, but we can check. Maybe Brian can check that out for us. Yeah, 1985 was the last time. Looks like it happened in 1941. It was Pitt and Fordham. Fordham was number 3. A lot has changed since then. Let's see. The 1985 one was UTEP beating BYU, who was number 7 at the time, 23-16.
BYU was coming off a national championship season. It won the national title in '84, and it had
Robbie Bosco at quarterback. Because Steve Young was off to the USFL.
So, yeah, Steve Young would come.
Yep.
So, and UTEP was probably Yeah, you said it was winless.
UTEP's always been winless. I'm not sure if they won since then. They live winless.
Speaking of Kent State, John, you'll love this. So it looks like UTEP lost 51-24 to Kent State two weeks prior, and they did not win again in 1985 other than that one win against BYU.
Oh,
wow.
my gosh.
I wonder.
What
that
a
is
game.
Crazy, man.
That's a great stat.
35-point underdog.
Jeez.
Sold out to stop the pass and walked away with one of the program's most celebrated victories.
35-point underdog. There's never been a greater underdog than that win.
Yes. Remember that one year that it was Stanford beat that
State?
USC team.
Harbaugh at Stanford.
They were a 41-point underdog that day and won the game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's crazy. And then the App State-Michigan game, I don't know what the spread was, but that was a 1AA team.
Well, they probably didn't even have a line.
1AA national champions, though.
Yeah,
it's still a huge upset, but nowhere near like these.
It just goes to show you, though, guys, UTEP won as a 35-point underdog and didn't win another game. I'm not so sure that history won't repeat itself, which is what I love about college football. It's all different. It's a data-driven deal. I don't know how these people are doing these spreads and getting, well, they're obviously not. It's got to take 7 or 8 weeks for the season to come into some kind of view.
Well,
it makes sense of it.
But maybe it doesn't. Maybe now we're in an era where it never really comes into focus.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But Madison's right. To people,
that is a great UTEP. I'm so glad Madison called with that. That's what a great. And see, that would have been like Kent State last year. I think fielded one of the worst teams in college football history. If it would have knocked off the best team in the MAC.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Penn State
Although the best team in the MAC ain't that good.
Penn State was supposed to be all that in a bag of chips this year, guys.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people thought Penn State was better than Ohio State.
And Texas was supposed to be all that in a bag of chips, and they've got 2 losses now, and they're going to be on the outside looking in.
I want to see Arch Manning play behind a good offensive line before I say he's won't make it.
Hey, Madison, what are those Texas fans around you? What are they saying in that community there?
It's funny, Tony. So one of my good buddies here. So I used to live in Austin. I just moved back up to Dallas, and I've been all over the Texas in the major cities around here.
Uh-huh.
And one of my good friends, who's a big Texas guy, I was texting him on Saturday, just trying to check in on him. Honestly, I want to make sure he's okay, and he didn't get back to me. So I don't think it's going very well. It's just like I think you said a few weeks ago. The best thing in sports is unexpected success. And unexpected, when you're expecting success and you really suck like they do, it's a tough pill to swallow. So they're not very loud. You don't see a whole lot of Longhorns and people wearing T-shirts and stuff like you typically do. They're kind of those ones are staying in the closet for now.
Gonna be like the Cowboy fans come November, December. My old joke is time for you guys to put your stuff away for another season. Let the playoff teams play. Cowboy fans, put your stuff away. Put some mothballs in there with them.
Some of those Texas fans need to start pulling for the Red Raiders.
There you go, John. The real team in Texas, the Red Raiders.
They probably already do.
Funny stuff.
Yeah,
so Madison,
that's a pretty big rivalry. I don't see them going that direction.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what, that Texas Tech team. I mean, it's they're not going to play anybody this year.
No,
but
they're not.
Could be a force to be reckoned with. I'd be interested to see what happens when they get in the playoffs.
So what's your best bet of this week, Madison? Have you got one yet?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you guys this. I know it's close to home, but there's really no excuse for the Vols not to cover this 12.5-point spread. I know that obviously Petrino's coming down. He's going to be he's going to be kind of similar to UCLA, how they got rid of the coach and now maybe they're playing a little bit more inspired. But since they've got analysts and GAs running the defense, as bad as that defense has been, and I'll tell you guys one thing. This Chris Brazzell guy, I'm 31 years old. I haven't seen as much football as you guys have, but I have not seen a better receiver wearing orange than this guy. I mean, he is a freak of nature. Watching him in person at Mississippi State, I mean, that guy's unguardable. And with the quarterback we have, guys, I mean, we got a lot of NFL players on offense and on defense. I've been seeing, I saw Colton Hood mocked in the top 10 in one draft.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
You've got McCoy.
Tennessee.
You've got Joseph. So
yeah,
we should cover that spread.
I agree with that, and I appreciate the call, Madison. Thank you. The thing about Saturday's game, though, is now with McCoy not playing, he mentions McCoy's name. And by the way, Heupel had a very curious comment about the McCoy guy, who we've gone out of the way to say that he really wants to play. In fact, he wants to play against the suggestion of his counsel and his inner circle who are encouraging him. Don't step on the field till you're 100% ready. This guy, I was told last week, went so hard in trying to get out there and get cleared and prove that he can play that he's got all kinds of swelling in his knee and some discomfort in his knee. And he really, the plan was for him to come back for the Arkansas game. That was his hope. Now, who knows when his body's going to cooperate. That was one of the qualifiers you learn to say down through the years as with all these guys is when your body cooperates is when you're going to be back. And really, God only knows when that's going to be for him. So this leads me to say this. I think Arkansas will find those openings in our secondary this weekend. They're going to make some big pass plays. I fully expect people to be talking about on the show how we gave up some big plays to them, but we're going to hit some big plays on them. I just don't see how this game is not a combined 70-point football game. I just don't see how that's not going to happen.
I could see it like being 49-24 though.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's
when
possible.
you think about Tennessee playing at
75
home,
points. Yeah.
Josh Heupel scripting plays to start a game.
72.
I mean,
Yeah.
he looks at this defense and it's like, hey, which one of these weaknesses do we want to exploit first?
That's exactly right. Hey, Matt, if that Brazzell guy, I was asking Bino yesterday, if you could do a prop bet on him, which you can't. Thank God you can't do that in college. I can't imagine the pressure would be on these guys. Plus, they'd be betting on themselves. But If you guys were to set aside a number for him to bet one way or the other, how many yards for Brazel, Matt? Saturday in that game to get action going both ways. What would the number be?
To get both ways, probably like maybe 140.
Yep.
150.
Bino was like 90 yesterday. I'm like 90.
Well, but
he'll have 90 in the first quarter.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Arkansas will probably focus on him, and everybody else is going to be wide open.
Well, that's a good point.
So I would say it'd be like a little over 100.
That's what Bino said. Back to the phones we go. I'm with Matt Dixon. I stand with him. 865-200-5402. And the way Brazel's been going, you got to throw 2 or 3 balls up to him just for the hell of it. I mean, this guy is on a heater of all heaters is what we're saying. Every ball near him's caught.
Is that not what they're doing? I mean, they're throwing the one-on-one jump balls to him.
Keep doing it.
I wish he could play as physical as that Florida true freshman is allowed to play with the way he pushed off on Texas.
He totally
I wish
pushed
Brazel
off.
was allowed to do that too.
He pushed off on the goal line on that.
Well,
play
yeah,
that broke.
I thought Brazel got away with that against Georgia.
So did I.
But certainly not against Alabama. But
or Mississippi State.
I mean Mississippi State.
Yeah. Let's go back to the phones. TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Hey, gents. Ranking the SEC teams, do we need to rank that on merit when we do it, or rate them on where we think they would line up on a neutral field, who would be favored over each other?
I did mine on merit. So, yeah, you can do it any way you want to.
Okay.
So who would you – I mean, how did you rate them? Did you do it on who you think?
I haven't done it yet. I wanted to sit down and do it after I kind of knew what the parameters were.
It would be a completely different list if you do it on how you think they'll finish, who you think would win on a neutral field, or who's accomplished the most. You got like 11 teams.
But the crazy thing this year, guys, is those power ratings, those neutral field power ratings, these teams get on the field with each other, and these games are not playing out the way they're supposed to play out.
They're not.
That's the problem with the sport.
I would have Florida ahead of a lot of teams on a neutral field.
I'm with you, Rusty. I am with you, man.
Yeah.
A lot of talent.
The game plan, the offensive game plan that they used against Texas was beautiful. Ball got the ball 28 times. They ran it down their throat, and they made Lagway throw off of that very conservatively, didn't ask him to do too much. Run the football, and then take easy throws off of that. The LSU game plan and the South Florida game plan that Florida used was criminal. Coaching malpractice, because they wanted Lagway to throw first in those ball games and barely ran the ball. John is so right. It's the coaching at Florida that's going to get them, because they're going to go back to a game plan eventually in these next few ball games where they're going to screw it up.
Well, I think you're onto something there. And when you think, but again, I did not think Florida had this kind of talent at the line of scrimmage, offense or defense. And you
on paper, they got a really good bunch of dudes on both lines.
Yeah.
I mean, like not just watching them play, but coming into the season, they had dudes on paper.
I know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I just think I looked at what I'd seen so far, and I know, I don't put a lot of stock in recruiting rankings. Maybe I should put more in it. But you're right. Florida, the irony is that Dan Mullen was fired from Florida because he didn't recruit well enough. Now you have a coach who's recruited well who can't coach. If you could have given Dan Mullen Billy Napier's talent, you'd have a conference championship contender.
You'd have a juggernaut.
Yeah.
You'd have a juggernaut. Mm-hmm. Hey, so Texas, I just want to throw this super fast about Texas. They're throwing nothing but screens behind the line of scrimmage and deep shots. They do not throw the ball between 5 and 10 yards. Who does that sound like? Maybe Tennessee last year before changing the offense a little?
Why is that, Rusty? You don't think they'll trust that kid?
It's Sark's offense. It's what they've always done under Sark. It's his offense. There's just no built-in short, quick passes, so you can slow down pass rushes with short, quick passes. They just don't do it.
They just don't have the offensive line to hold up, I think. Part of it.
Not when they take deep shots, they don't. But, I mean, if you're throwing a two-step hitch really, really quick for 5 yards, that don't take much offensive line. But they don't have it built into their offense. And we didn't last year. That's why we changed. We're getting balls out of the quarterback's hand quick sometimes.
I wonder if that's a pride thing with those coaches. Like the same way in college basketball, some coaches just won't play zone at all, even though nobody can shoot in their sport. Same kind of thing.
Well, I mean,
arrogance.
I tell you what, we're getting a new appreciation for Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
And I think Steve Spurrier was on something when he said before the season, well, and I think he was half joking, but he said, well, you know, everybody's talking about how good Arch is, but he couldn't beat out a 7th-round draft pick last year.
Oh, Spurrier.
Ewers was a pretty good college quarterback. He's not an NFL guy, but he was good for them. Very similar to Joey. Very similar how you are.
Yeah,
I got an Eagles thing I want to end with. I know you're gonna, but before that, I want to talk about real quick. We talked about this last night. Me and Colombo and Lee and everybody. We started naming the best players in college football. Jeremiah Smith's the best player in college football. Jeremiah Love's the next best. Caleb Downs is the third best. Probably the left tackle at Alabama. Next best. How far down the list do you go if you're naming the best players at any position in college football before we would name a quarterback? We were like to 15 or 20 before we would put a quarterback on the best players in college football list. How crazy is that?
Well, see, I'm
not interesting, man.
I'm not talking about
I don't
pro
doubt that.
prospect. I thought John Mateer, to me, was the best player in college football before he got hurt.
And see, that's another thing. Are we ranking these
He's not
guys?
on the same planet as Jeremiah Smith.
Right, in terms of value on the field.
Jeremiah Smith may be the best wide receiver in the NFL if he was there right now.
We saw that in our game with him.
He's a freak.
Dude, he's like...
Well, I know, but you evaluate
how do you quantify?
A quarterback. I mean, I can't really compare a quarterback
it's hard to
receiver
quantify.
because John Mateer was Oklahoma's whole offense. He's running it 15 times and throwing. He's
going to get himself killed.
Yeah, well,
which he already hit.
He already
So,
is.
Tony, the Eagles thing, and this is Eagles centric because it pertains to what happened on Sunday, but it's more about the overall sport.
Yep.
How can we review things such as we throw a flag for intentional grounding, and then the booth tells us, hey, there was a guy in the area where the ball was thrown? We can review that, but it's taboo and not okay to go review, hey, your receiver was tackled while the ball was in the air. We can review. Why is it we pick and choose what can be reviewed and what can't be? For me, it's half pregnant. It's got to be all of them can be reviewed or nothing can.
And Rusty, I appreciate the call. He's talking about Dallas Goedert, who got completely mugged. I mean, a mugging. Like we were talking about on Patrol Live earlier. There'd be criminal charges. Both guys, two defenders, essentially pulled him down with a ball in the air. Now, the Eagles had that loss coming to them. We all know that in Eagle Nation. In the last 2 minutes of college and pro games, you ought to be able to review those things. If you're going to have review in your game, and I hate review, I would get rid of all that. I think all it does is slow games down personally, because in the college ranks, they review and don't get it right. And especially in this league, because there's no what's the word I'm looking for here?
Accountability?
Well, accountability is one of them, but they don't bring you inside the conversation they're having. There's no transparency.
You're a huge fan of that. I know, but
I want transparency.
Well,
I
understand
see why
that.
you're calling what you're calling when you review something.
The idea that these guys can review it and get it wrong, that shouldn't happen. I would rather have no reviews.
As we continue with more, we got to get a brief time out. More after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club teams start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
TB back with you. Man, I mean, John is like crossing into the Rubicon here. He's presented by our friends, the great Jennifer Morris. Shout out to her. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. We are heading for a TLD Logistics overtime. But before we do that, and then I'll be on this afternoon with Georgie Boy Plaster. Man, there's just so much to talk about. It makes me, little kid, excited. There is one line available if you want to get in with us on our TLD Logistics phone lines. And we're going to go back to our phones. Before we do, I was just sent this. The Vegas power ratings in the SEC. Let's see if I can find this. And then we go back to our phones. Because this is really, really interesting stuff. By the way, John, there is talk. The reason that the Texas line is down to -2.5 is there's a lot of scuttlebutt. SEC staffs are expecting within the sport, I was just told, Mateer to play this week against Texas.
Why would they do that? I mean, if he's got a broken hand.
Matt, what are your thoughts on that? The fact that Mateer goes out there and tries to gut it out this week.
I think that's a bad move.
I do too.
Because he has to run to be effective. Yeah. And even though Texas had a bad day against Florida, that's still a pretty decent defense. And it's not like Texas is going to score a bunch. I mean, that Hawkins guy's awful. So it probably would be if Mateer was playing, Texas gets blown out.
And that's why.
It gives Oklahoma an out if they go 9-3. If you lose the game with Mateer out, that really kind of gives you some credibility there.
So the line is now 2.5, and here's what Vegas is thinking.
What's the over/under in that game?
That's what the line
35?
would be with a healthy Mateer on a neutral site. That's Vegas's pricing. So Corey,
are you telling me that they would favor Texas on a neutral site?
Vegas
with Mateer
believes
playing?
Yes, Vegas believes.
No way.
Here are the numbers. I just got them a second ago. Let's see, where'd I get them? They over here?
I'm not buying that.
Are
we on the air now?
Yeah, here are the numbers. Vegas power ratings are: Jennifer Morris, next move, SmokyMountains.com. Don't you dare buy or sell her home without her. She of Keller Williams, don't you dare. Jennifer Morris, next move, SmokyMountains.com. Those of you watching us on YouTube, you're about to see John Adams in full regalia because Matt's given me a great idea. In fact, I want to encourage all of All Nation. We need to show our Arkansas friends some love at Calhoun's. If you have a neck brace, wear it on Friday in honor of Bobby Petrino. Matt just gave me a great idea that I need to wear one.
Yeah.
How great of a gimmick would it be? And I'm bringing the rouge for you.
How about a Bobby Petrino lookalike contest?
Not a bad. Well, I mean, it's like a month away from Halloween. We could do that.
I think bring like a pepperoni slab and slice it to your cheek. tape it to your cheek.
Not a bad idea. Bryant might draw flies.
Okay, but here's what you go. Here's how you go to your tailgate.
But it would be like a paisan to smell like Roni out there.
You get your motorcycle.
Yep. My dad used to eat Roni.
You get a former blonde volleyball player, put her on the back of the cycle.
Well, that's what you did. I'm not doing that. I'm a happily married man. The Vegas power ratings are as follows. Then we go to the phones. Matt had Alabama. That's the Vegas power. Vegas is power rated as the top team. If Tennessee and Bama played tomorrow, it'd be like a 10.5-point spread. That's what they say. I don't know. Don't argue. I didn't do it. Don't, send your cards and letters. Just don't send them to me.
This is all conjecture.
All right. Well, I'm just telling you what the power ratings are. Alabama is number 2, to John's point. Georgia is number 3, to Matt's point, which I think is where he had Georgia. Texas is still number 4. Vegas is not out on Texas. The thought is 2 road losses. I know what they're thinking, and they have a ton of talent. So they haven't caught up to Texas. So
I don't think they have that much talent.
I understand. You might have a value there in going against them. That's just where we are right now. LSU is number 5. Ole Miss number 6. Tennessee number 7. Oklahoma number 8. Florida number 9, Missouri number 10, and Vandy number 11, with Auburn 12. So Matt had it. Matt had it pretty good. The gap between A&M at 2 and Auburn at 12 is less than 6 points on a neutral field.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Which is crazy.
The final score of that game was 16-10 Texas A&M, I think.
Back to the phones we go. Let's go to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on our TLD Logistics phone lines on a crazy day.
Hey, Tony. How you fellers doing today?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Brother, I am on my way back from what you would call your God's country, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Let's go.
One of the worst sports weekends I've had to suffer through. Me and Owen went to the Phillies game Saturday night, Eagles game Sunday, sat with friends, watched the Phillies game last night. Man, let me tell you, that was rougher than a night in jail right there, man. And then you had all the Penn State fans living through James Franklin.
My poor brother, man. I mean, my poor brother told me he's taking the week off from sports. That's it for him.
I don't
blame
him. I don't blame him, not one bit, dude. To piggyback, I want to get to something on the Eagles, but to piggyback off something Rusty said that he and I talked about, I didn't realize. He said, like with the ACC, when they review, like you can hear the referee and then the command center or whatever talking about what they're looking at, how they're looking at it, and stuff like that. Why don't they do that through all of football? NFL, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, whatever, you can hear them actually discuss what they're looking at and what they're seeing. And that gives everybody insight into how they're looking at plays and stuff, if you're going to review it.
Well, look, I'm into the whole ACC thing. I just told you that. Why not make it as transparent as possible if you have nothing to hide? Plus, it enhances your television product. Because you don't feel like you're watching a review. You feel like you're actually a participant in it. And you're learning. You're learning about the sport. This is why I see what I see. Rather than hear Matt Austin talk about something who's just a total burnout. Who cares about Matt Austin?
He's a reject.
He's a burnout.
Same thing like with that Eagles game. Okay, I was there, so I didn't get to hear Tony Romo and Jim Nantz and Gene Steratore go back and forth over. Well, was Bo Nick's hand coming forward on that obvious fumble because they called it a fumble on the field? And then the mugging that Dallas Goedert had at the end of the game. I mean, instant replay is ridiculous. I'm almost to the point with you guys. Do away with it. Do away with it because when it seems like they get it right on the field, but they look at it so daggone close, and it's supposed to be obvious, blatant, information basically to turn it over, and they're still not turning it over. I mean, it's ridiculous at how they're doing.
I hate replaying all these sports. Hate.
It just drags the game down.
It's awful.
It kills momentum.
It's awful.
Well, being up there though for this weekend, I mean, it was a wonderful experience. It was like getting to hang out with friends and the folks that hosted me and Owen and took us to the games and everything. It was phenomenal. But man, I'm telling you what, if none of you folks have ever been to an Eagles or Phillies game like with that much on the line, it was crazy. I mean, I've never been to a playoff baseball game. That's the first time I've ever been to a playoff baseball game. The atmosphere was just crazy to begin with, and you could feel the air getting sucked out of that place as soon as the Dodgers got those first two runs Saturday night.
That is the deal, brother.
It was like somebody stuck a shop vac over top of that place and sucked the air out of it. It was insane. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that.
And the Phillies have slowly turned into the Braves. Stay right there. I want to talk to you about that because what fans expect now, that pressure gets transferred. As John Adams with Heather Harrington is now up on our YouTube channel, if you want to go look at it, that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But what fans expect now gets transferred onto the players, that pressure. And then when you have an idiot managing your team like the Phillies have, this Rob Thompson guy is a punk and a clown at this point. Just an absolute punk and clown, man. The guy bunts last night, man, in the ninth inning. Bunts! With the slowest runner in the world on second and the other team running a wheel play. Who does that? Ugh. Can't wait for this guy to get fired. I cannot wait. We love you. We appreciate you. To the radio listener, the great William Patterson's got you next. Preach! See you tomorrow.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
We just broke news, y'all. He's going to play. Pete Thamel's got the story now, Matt. We broke news. He's going to play.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Before we go back to Justin, Matt, share what you just saw on the Twitter machine, the machine.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive
On
Overtime.
TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just saw where Pete Thamel reported on ESPN that John Mateer, Oklahoma's quarterback, is pushing to play Saturday. That he's done well healing from the operation. I think that would be a huge mistake. It's his throwing hand.
So that is what the coaches throughout the league believe. And we use some of that stuff on the air with you because why not? I mean, it's kind of the scuttlebutt in the community, and that is what Thamel, I'm sure, is going off.
Why would you
just
risk
for the
that?
record, we had that before he did. No offense to him. He is a very sped when it comes to breaking his stories. No offense to him.
Well, they posted this at 11:35.
Oh, for the record, he had it before us. He's
Yeah.
very So Pete Thamel continues to break his stories. We're saying he's playing, though, and that's what the Vegas line reflects. Vegas expects him to play.
Why would
How
you
does
do
Vegas
that,
know
though?
that? John, tell me that. How does Vegas know all this stuff? You and I both know. Do they have people inside these programs?
They got sources,
Yes,
man.
they do, brah. Justin, I want to strangulate our manager. Please don't get me talking about it. I've been enjoying my college football conversation. But for him to bunt last night, what was the reaction around that last night when he bunted?
Dude, they were going crazy.
And they had Cash Steeler at second.
Cash
I'm
Steelano at
58,
second.
and I run better than Cash Steeler. Cash Steeler
that's
is
what I
one
was
of the
about to
worst
say.
athletes in the world, man.
I'm 48 years old with a bad knee, and I believe I could outrun Castellano. I swear to God.
I mean, he is the ultimate Cash Steeler. He is the worst athlete I've ever seen. The worst.
Listening to the post game last night with our boy Jackie Boy Fritz and James Seltzer, those guys were irate at the bunt. And then this morning on the way home, I was listening to the morning show. You know, we left out about 6:30 this morning, so I was listening to WIP. That was all they could talk about, and they were just calling it the bunt, that it will go down in Philadelphia sports history in the annals of just, Negadelphia type stuff where things have went wrong, like the Kawhi shot going in, just thing after, and they're just calling it the bunt now. It was absolutely. You've got a guy like Bryson Stott who doesn't strike out a lot, who uses the bat well in his hands. You don't trust him with a guy on second, nobody out. I mean, they already showed they were charging after the bunt to begin with, after the first attempt. So then you have your guy look back and say, hey, we're swinging away here. It was a joke. But, yeah, Jack and James are calling for him to hire Bruce Bochy because it looks like the Rangers are getting rid of Bruce Bochy possibly. So our boys Jack and James are wanting to go to Bochy. They're begging for Castellanos to be his final season. But real quick, Tony, before I let you go, I ran into a couple up there when I went and seen Jack on Friday. They were doing a remote, the afternoon show was, and I ran into a couple. This lady, her and her husband knew me from where I call up there. So their nephew goes to school at UT, and they're coming down this weekend for the Arkansas game. And they were quizzing me about places to go. And the first thing out of my mouth was, when are you coming?
Let's damn go.
And they said, we're going to be Thursday. I
Let's
said,
damn
second
go.
thing, you need to go to Calhoun's on the river.
Let's go.
Friday to see my boy Tony B in Beano. They said, so what's this? I said, so have y'all ever been to Chickies and Pete's on a Monday after a football game? Yes, we've done it. I said, so this is like Chickies and Pete's but before a football game. My guy has the best spot, the best show in Knoxville. It's the best food, a taste of Tennessee.
Let's go.
Go get some.
Let's go.
I told him, I said, I ain't sure. I didn't know. I told him, I said, I ain't sure.
I'll buy her
but
lunch.
Sometimes his band plays
We're
on
playing Friday night.
So y'all can
That's
have,
exactly
and I
right.
told them.
That's
So
exactly
their name
right.
Is Jeff. Their name is Jeff and Kim. So I told them to shout you out, seek you out, that you mingle amongst the crowd during breaks and stuff.
Yep.
So they're coming down Friday. I told them, I said, you got to go see my guy Tony B.
Thank you,
So
my brother.
I'm hooking you up, brother.
Hey,
I'm gonna
text
get out
her.
there and let you go.
Text her and see if she'll bring me some rouge. Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. Bring me some rouge from up there in Pennsylvania, because those women up there go hard with it. No offense. They got some rough-looking women, Matt, up there, and they go hard with that rouge.
Look, if there was rouge here,
so have her bring me some rouge.
If there were a lot of cosmetics here, do you think you would be able to pick out rouge?
I mean, probably not.
I don't think so.
Matt, would you care to comment on how those women up there go hard?
That's
Matt.
That Philly's Karen lady, I'm sure she had a rough weekend.
She was interesting. Natural blonde Karen.
Tony, there's a story here on ESPN.
All right.
Since I'm reporting news.
Yes.
Auburn is moving its 2026 home game with Baylor to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Wow.
Is a part of an arrangement with the Aflac kickoff game to provide NIL opportunities for Tigers players, a first in college football. They are moving a game to get NIL money. I mean, how far are we going with this?
Matt, that's kind
of gross. Is that an
gross.
excuse? That's an excuse, right?
That is exactly what it is, Brian. Well put. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. It's what it is.
They don't need excuses to move games to neutral sites.
That's right. Because Danny White said, he told Mike Keith, we're just not going to, we're not going to do that. Talk is cheap. I will judge you by your actions. But I like the AD down there at Georgia Tech, who came from Danny White's tree, the Alpert guy. He sent a thing out to their fan base that said, look, we'll keep this thing with Tennessee as a home game next year, but you're basically going to pay double. Or we'll put it in the Dome, and we'll price it accordingly. But it's your choice. Like, in other words, if you want to richly reward us, like we're playing in the Dome, we'll keep it in our building. It's never, what can we do for you? It's always, and I mean always with these guys, what can you do for us? Because F you.
They ask so much of fans.
Oh! And they give so little in return. So little. Hey, man, a nice little, coin or something when I enter the stadium every once in a while. Like a commemorative coin or something. You don't even get a ticket stub these days.
Give them a coffee mug.
Yeah, a coffee mug. You guys ever even thought about that? You don't even get a ticket stub these days. If you want a ticket stub, you go to the game, John, you're one of these people that collect ticket stubs down through the years, they charge you $30 for a printed ticket stub. Matt, am I kidding?
No, and they actually they offer like a each game they have it's like a tumbler, and I think it's like $40. So if you can't get a coffee mug, you just have to pay for it.
$40 coffee. I mean, I'm wearing a neck brace. I'll tell you what, if the Phillies keep it up, I'm going to wear a damn neck brace. Let's go back to the phones. I'll be in a neck brace. Let's go back. Let's get our next call in. I want to look at some look-ahead lines on the Vols here off these power ratings that are kind of interesting because that Alabama game, it's going to be either 9.5 or 10.5. It's going to open tomorrow on one of the onshore books, so we'll get a look at it. But hello and welcome in, W. Lynn.
How my French compatriots doing today?
Hey, brother, welcome in.
Tony, do you have a lot of current UT students listen to this show?
Oh, yes, absolutely, W. Lynn. Locked and loaded. We're number one over there.
Good. Here's what I want them to do. I want all the guys to go to the game Saturday with bandages on their head and bruises, makeup on their face. And I want all the ladies that are students to go over there and knock a volleyball around during the game. Instead of a beach ball, have a volleyball. And if it ever comes down where a guy is, you got to let it hit you on the head.
Well,
how about getting a soccer ball in there too for the soccer team? He's doing really well.
Well, Petrino didn't mess with anybody regarding soccer that I know of.
Well, here's the thing, W. Lynn. We might have gone too far into the future for that because that happened. What year was that, Brian? What year was that?
I think it was 2011 into 2012.
Yeah, see, that's like 13, 14 years ago. I don't think a lot of people now they knew that Bobby Petrino got in trouble, but they don't remember the details. So I don't know how well my motorcycle picture with my neck brace on holds up now.
Is that the same picture where Heather Harrington was on a motorcycle in Neyland Stadium?
Well, no, we did it. We videotaped this. I used to do these serious football videos, and we did it at Harley Davidson's on Clinton Highway. And I got on this huge motorcycle that I would have never been able to drive, and Heather was on the back. And a lot of people didn't even know Heather was she was a UT volleyball player.
Oh, she was a good volleyball player.
There you go. See, so I had a blonde volleyball player on a motorcycle, and I had my neck in a brace. Kind of looked like Bobby Petrino, in fact.
The other idea I had is during the pregame warm-ups on the Tennessee side of the field, bring our entire volleyball team out and set up a net and have a 5-minute exhibition.
Well, see, that's a fun idea, but I just don't know if enough people remember all the details of it.
Yes, I know.
If Petrino was cool, guys, let's just face it, John. If he was if he was cool, you know what he would do? He would ride out there like Evel Knievel back in the day. They'd have a ramp. Have a ramp coming from Double P. Ride him all the way down like it's Caesar's Palace. It would be unreal.
If the same thing would have happened to John Gruden, there's no question he'd ride onto the field in a motorcycle.
Totally lean into it.
Yeah.
Or Vitello when he set up his lemonade stand.
Honor John L. Smith's State of Alabama program when he was the interim coach after that, where he called Arkansas the State of Alabama program after they went out and got beat by Alabama 52-0.
Interesting. John L. Smith, huh?
I forgot that John L. Smith was the interim coach.
Yep.
Yeah, for that next year, and they were awful.
Thanks,
That was the end of their program as we know it.
Hey, guys,
Thanks for doing
need to
this.
take this game serious, though. It's so crazy how college football is this year. The students need to be back from fall break, and they need to be rowdy and get everybody in there rowdy because anything can happen. And all that line, whatever the line is with Texas, Oklahoma, remember, all Vegas is trying to do is split the betting 50-50 with what they're doing. So that has a lot to do with, I think, giving Texas some credit there.
Interesting stuff, W. Lynn. Anything else for us?
Go Big Orange.
You're the man,
Let's
brother.
beat these hogs.
I agree with that. Time to cook some hogs. That's the other white meat, right? Hogs?
Yeah, it is the other white meat. My wife, one of her worst college game day experiences was in Fayetteville. She was there for that 49-7 beatdown, she and her brother. And there was this one Arkansas fan a few rows back in the stands that heckled them the entire game and kept calling her a hillbilly. Imagine
in Arkansas?
I know. I mean, how rich is that?
Matt, have you been there? And what's your experience been like?
Of the like before Texas and Oklahoma joined the league, Arkansas was the only road venue I've not been to. But ironically, I went for that super regional in baseball a few months ago, which a little bit of a different crowd. So, but that was one of the lower points in program history was that Arkansas game when Joe Adams had that punt return where we
oh my
had
gosh
11 guys had the two-hand touch deal.
I mean, it was like I bet I
Didn't
saw
even
that
try.
play 20 times. They just kept showing it on ESPN that night.
Yeah.
Because it's like he was surrounded. He was surrounded. Plus, as bad as that team was, it had no business kicking to him. He's a good punt returner.
Who was their great back that year? Who was Arkansas, the kid that ran all over us? Who had the big night for them?
Was it
You guys remember?
Darren McFadden did, but that was like 06.
Yeah.
It wasn't
he
a
was gone
McFadden.
by
What
then.
about
There was
Felix,
another one.
Was it Felix Jones? No.
No, they were together. That was the year that I think they actually
to
played in the Sugar Bowl where Petrino had it rolling, but they were a passing team that just had a kind of a plug and play back.
What was the quarterback? Russell, wasn't it?
Ryan Mallett, wasn't it?
Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett.
My God.
He died at 35.
Did he really?
Yeah, he died like a few years ago.
Drowned,
And some,
yeah,
like,
I know.
He drowned?
I want to say like
And
a
the
swimming
panhandle
accident.
got
Yeah.
caught in the undertow.
Oh.
But yeah, he could rifle it.
Back to the phones we go. He's a kid that played. Mallett played in New England, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You are on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? Joshy.
Hey, Joshy boy.
Yeah, he died. I want to say it was in June of 2023, and you're right, Tony. He played with the Patriots and a few other NFL teams.
There you go.
Tyler Wilson was their quarterback, and Jarius Wright and Dennis Johnson were their running backs.
Jarius Wright. That's the guy's name. He was running like a wild man. Jarius Wright.
Yeah. Guys, my first question is, I don't see it happening. I see us getting revenge on Arkansas Saturday, but how do you think this fan base would react if we lose to them again Saturday?
Well, they'd keep Tony Basilio up till about 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and Tony's playing, doing a show down there, doing an interview, doing a show at Calhoun's, doing an interview with somebody for a documentary Friday downtown, doing the music Friday night down there, playing Marcos's Tailgate for 3 hours before the game, and then doing the post-game show. So if the Vols lose, it's going to be a rather sad night for me and a long night.
It's going to be a long night.
Better eat my fruits and vegetables.
I wonder, if this were a movie right now, we would be saying the Joshy Boy's providing foreshadowing.
Yes, he is.
By talking about what if Tennessee lost.
Yes, he is.
And then in the movie, they would actually lose, but that won't happen.
In modern college football, though, as we saw last weekend, and I'm being 1,000,000% serious when I say this, nothing's going to surprise anybody in one of these Power 4 teams. Nothing.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you look at UCLA, I thought it was the worst Power 4 team in the country, and it beats Penn State.
They're horrendous.
So Arkansas beating Tennessee would not be nearly as big of an upset.
The guy from Texas, Madison, who called in, the thing about UTEP not winning another game that year could turn around and happen to UCLA.
Yeah, it could lose every game.
That's not Big Game James Franklin's problem, because when he goes up against the smaller teams he's expected to beat, he usually wins most of the time. It's the
Yes.
big games that get him.
There were just a lot of weird circumstances in that game. There are just so many odd things surrounding it. And
yeah,
I don't know if Penn State can hire a better coach than James Franklin.
Yeah, I don't know either. You guys think Clark Lee may get a big time job after this season?
No.
What do you think, Matt? You think people are taking notice, or you think they look at him like a that's an kind of a 2-year wonder deal with his movie made?
I think people will take notice, but he's a Vandy grad, and he can kind of become the new Mark Stoops, where you have some success.
Yeah.
Get a cushy contract. You don't have much criticism for at least 5 years, no matter what you do. If you play in the SEC, you're going to be compensated. I think it'd be hard. It would take a really big job to lure him, and I'm not sure he's good enough for one of those types of jobs. He's probably, I'm not going to say stuck there. That's the wrong term, but he's probably there long term.
He was getting ready to get on the hot seat at Vanderbilt, which isn't that easy to do.
Really smart move that the guy made.
Well, he brought in Tim Beck, and he
really smart.
Yeah, brought in offensive coordinator.
Brought them all in from New Mexico.
We
State.
haven't heard anybody say we need to kick Vandy out of the SEC for a while.
Good point, Brian. They didn't look like they're getting kicked out on Saturday.
They're kicking back. They're kicking back.
Yep, that was a street fight Saturday, which was really surprising to me. The level of physical play from them. John, you're right. If Pavia doesn't turn it over twice, they win the game.
Because 2 of those interceptions were in the end zone.
And what if they would have won the game? What kind of chaos would we be talking about right now in the league? Total chaos.
Vanderbilt wouldn't you have to put Vanderbilt in the top 10 if it won
They'd be in the top 10, John. Yeah.
Well, Dixie talked about today about Vanderbilt and having elimination games in the playoff with Missouri and whatever somebody else they got coming up, Auburn or somebody.
Yeah. Guys, Vandy's not going to be no pushover when we play them last game.
No.
Yeah. So, what are you guys leaning towards? Do you guys think Jermod McCoy plays a game this season, or do you think he might sit out the whole season?
I think he'll sit out, and I think it would be the smart thing for him to do.
I agree with that, John.
And also, Josh, I don't know how good he can be. I know he's an All-American cornerback. He's got an NFL future. That injury is hard to come back from, and a lot of guys think they can come back from it. But of all the positions to try and play after extensive knee surgery, I think that would be one of the hardest because you've got to make these sudden turns and cuts, and I think that's a lot to ask. And he may really want to play, but I don't think about it. Tennessee is in the running for playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good bet to go 10-2.
Yes.
And it's playing without its 2 quarterbacks. Going into the season, you would think quarterback's a pretty solid position. You add Colton Hood from Colorado, and all of a sudden Tennessee's got 3 pretty good quarterbacks. It's got the number 1 sack attack in the country, leads the nation in sacks, and it's played with David Sanders, the freshman offensive tackle who's now coming back.
Right.
I mean, think of how good this team could be without all that attrition.
Well,
and I know he wanted a lot of money, but do you guys think they should have went ahead and paid Jacoby Thomas to come back?
Oh, if they had a do-over on that, I'm sure they would have found a way.
Yeah.
Because he's a key addition for Miami. And again, that's just the sport now. You watch these guys.
Yeah,
and but you got the thing is though, they've won a lot more than they've lost in the portal. A lot, and the quarterback trade's indicative of that. They've won a whole lot more than they've lost out of the transfer portal.
They've got those 2 offensive line transfers who've played well.
Been good.
They've got a really good first-round draft pick cornerback. They've got a quarterback.
You know what's funny about Colton Hood? I was doing some digging into him, and this is what Deion's told people. Because people are asking Dion, well, how you let this guy get away? What Dion's told people is that Colton Hood, when they put a stopwatch on him, wasn't fast enough to play for him. He wants his corners to be super elite speed, and that's why they didn't value him the way they should have. That makes no sense to me, John.
No,
Well,
particularly.
how can you recruit a guy and then decide he doesn't run fast enough?
Well, I'm
after
just
recruiting?
talking. What they do is they stopwatch these guys, O'Brien, when they get them in their get them on their teams.
But you know what? Some guys play faster
Mm-hmm.
in games than
Yeah.
what that stopwatch shows.
That's
And
true.
Dion, of all people, I mean, he was a speed guy.
That's what he tells people. Hey, Jerry Rice is the ultimate example of that.
What did he run the 40 in? 4.6?
It's awful in Mississippi Valley State in that combine, but when he got on an NFL field,
Whoever caught him?
he had what they called functional speed.
Yep. Hey, Tony, out the door, forgive me. Did Mark and Columba call in like last week and say Penn State was an elite team?
Yes, he
didn't hear
did
that.
twice in a row. He did. Thank you. Yeah, Mark Colombo. He had a couple of atrocious phone calls last week.
Joshy boy making a point there on the way out.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, Mark and Columbo.
All right, in case you're interested, so the A&M thing, the gap between A&M at 2 and Auburn at 12 is 6 points. But the Vols tomorrow, when we see a line in their game, are going to open at 9.5 to 10.5. Now, I don't know how that all works, but if the game was played on a neutral field, it would be 6.5. Other advanced lines for the Vols: -4 against Oklahoma by the power ratings we talked about earlier in the hour, or maybe it was latter part of the last hour. 1.5. The Vols would be a 1.5 point favorite right now at Florida. Does that surprise you guys? Does that surprise you, John?
I would think Tennessee would be by the time that game's played, will be a bigger favorite.
Wow.
I kind of hope they're not favored.
Matt, do we want them to be favored? Do we want to be favored in that game? It's a good question Brian brings up.
I might be overanalyzing it, but I think you do, because you need the Florida team to be as dead as possible.
It's a good line.
Because every Florida team with a pulse beats Tennessee down there.
Yeah, I just think this Florida team will be beaten down by the time it gets to Tennessee. And it will have a different – Billy Napier won't be the coach.
So the Vols are plus +1.5 for Florida. So they're actually a 1.5 point underdog. But as John said, he believes the Vols will be favored by the time the game comes around anyway.
It's really something that they're not an underdog by 3 or more, because usually they are. If you're minus only 1.5 or plus 1.5, that really means that you're sort of seen as a better team, because 3 points is worth home field advantage, right?
And John, what do you think the line is in the Vandy game right now if it's played on a neutral field? This is interesting.
I would say Tennessee by 6.
5.5. Yeah. Vanderbilt's legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Vanderbilt, I think, is a good road team, even though it lost to Alabama.
Yeah.
Because they've got this attitude. Go back to Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
New Mexico State goes into Jordan-Hare Stadium and beats Auburn convincingly in 2023. This guy, and he sets the tone for this team. There's no doubt about it. He goes in there, we're going to show people. They think I think that's part of the physicality of Vanderbilt now. They play with an attitude that I've never seen with Vanderbilt, ever.
No, they have an edge about them. John Adams, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Shout out, Jen. She is an absolute treat and a treasure in our community. You talk about somebody that makes this place a better place to be. That's Jennifer Morris each and every day. I love her. So kudos to you, Jen. We love you. And also shout out to my friends at VIP Play, where, all this activity is fun and it's crazy. And if you want to get in the middle of it, $20. Your first bet, and you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code, the phrase that pays, TN Tony, is the phrase that pays. And they're live always. 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types, all kinds of props, all kinds of options. Today, the American League takes center stage, and the National League, thank God, gets a day off so I can get some sanity in my life. But NHL on board tomorrow evening. John Adams is on pins and needles for the NHL season. And remember, VIP play, everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP play. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. As we're on TLD Logistics Overtime, we're going to go back to the phones, get as many people in here as humanly possible. Fun stuff, John.
Yeah, if you're betting on an NHL game, you've got a gambling problem.
I don't know about that. I won money last week. Well, no.
A preseason NHL game. A preseason one.
I went 1-1
nonetheless.
last week. So I won money at first, and then I double dipped.
Do you really think
on the money line?
Don't you think that creates an image of you for your listeners? They turn away from this and say, "This I'm listening to a guy who bets on preseason NHL games."
No, it's just my team. It's just a few bucks. I was just having fun. I mean, wasn't like some scientific bet. I mean, it's just,
Oh, you just
betting on a
preseason
hockey
that makes
game.
it okay then.
Well, betting on a preseason hockey. Look, Brian, I don't follow the damn Jaguars. Talk about degenerates.
Where are the Flyers in some preseason power rankings in the NHL?
Oh, they're horrendous, Matt. They have zero chance of making the playoffs, but who knows? Hello and welcome into our next call. I will sweat them each and every game. We open with the Stanley Cup champions on Thursday night, and we will be dismissed by the third period. Hello and welcome into our next call.
Hello, guys. It's Music City Sam.
Hey, Sammy, welcome in.
See, John, if you took the Tennessee over points every game this year, you'd be a rich man just like me.
See that? Sammy is setting the pace.
It's easy math.
He's a pace setter.
Well, I would give the points this week.
Well, this is the first week that I've actually saw the Tennessee total points. It's like 41.5. I think they'll get over it, but it just takes a few mistakes for that kind of stuff not to hit. So,
I know.
Like Mississippi State.
That defense of Arkansas is so bad.
You know what could happen this week too? Is Tennessee's defense could keep doing what they do, which is scoring with their defense. That helps those totals. Helping that Mississippi State game, I know that. And it really is indicative of a very good football team, too, when you do that.
I think this will be the best defensive performance of the year. When you look back after the first quarter or first half of the Syracuse game, we were down. We realized we were down 5 defensive starters. David Hobbs, Jackson Moy, Ricky Gibson, Jamal McCoy. And I'm going to include Booth Partner in that because he obviously didn't know what he was doing the first probably 3 games of the season. He's finally come around. I just saw that Hobbs is going to be back for sure for this game. And then with Colton Hood and Ty Redmond, they've gotten thrown to the fire, and I think they're going to start playing collectively better the back half of the season. But that is my main – I'm not really worried about this game. I think Tennessee is going to score a ton of points. But I really want to see our defense play a complete game. That's my main takeaway from this game. That's what I want to see.
Matt, is he getting his wish? Are the Vols playing a complete game in this game?
I think Arkansas is pretty good offensively, and Petrino will dial up some stuff and scheme some guys open in the passing game. I think Arkansas scores at least in the upper 20s in this one because they're a pretty good offense with Taylor Green. Tennessee held them down last year, but that's because Arkansas kind of fell apart in the red zone. They moved the ball up and down the field for much of the game, and then had the game-winning drive with the backup quarterback. I don't like the Petrino-Tim Banks matchup, but it would be very encouraging if Tennessee puts a good performance defensively.
I would be very concerned if they scored upper 20s or more, because they played 3 real games, as of we, 3, decent opponents, and they've averaged 24 a game in those games. So they're not putting up bukus of points. They do move the ball, but I would be concerned if it was more than that. That's just my opinion.
What do you think, John?
I just think they're going to score a lot of points. I think this could be remember the 2022 Tennessee-Missouri game? It was at Neyland Stadium, I think. Yeah, it was at Neyland. Tennessee won 66-24. Missouri got quite a few yards in that game, but Tennessee just scored at will. I just think Tennessee's going to go up and down the field. I think it could score over 50.
I agree with that. I could see a very similar game to that. Because I'll keep going back to this the rest of the year, but as long as our offensive line plays the way they've been playing, and if they can even take another step with David Sanders, I just don't see anyone holding our offense back other than us. That's the only way we don't score points, is if we muff punts and drop balls and just have tip passes that go up 100 yards in the air straight to the defense. It's about the only way we've been stopped so far.
Which is college football. You're 9 times out of 10, you're going to stop yourself before somebody stops you. I mean, it's just the way the game is, and if you can limit that stuff, you can, win a lot of games, make the playoffs.
What are you
eating? I'm glad you all brought it up, but that was the first time I really watched Texas this year. They have the worst offensive line I've seen for a team that supposedly spends the money they spend. That was unbelievable how bad they are. So I felt bad for Arch Manning. He has no chance. No chance.
Zero. He had zero chance Saturday.
Funny, they went and paid all that money for that Syracuse defensive player. They should have maybe moved him to offense or gone out and looked for offensive linemen.
It's a pretty good line, Bry.
Yeah.
I think that Texas-Oklahoma game might be in the 20s collectively, because
Sammy, do you know the number? What's the number in that game? Does anybody have it? I could look here.
I haven't looked.
I mean,
I'd say about 35.
Got to be
37.
Super low. Because that Oklahoma bunch on defense, God.
See, I think Oklahoma has a good defense, but I don't know how elite they are yet, because they've only had 2 games, Auburn and Michigan. They were both at home. They played a freshman Michigan quarterback.
Yes.
And then they played Jackson Arnold, who holds it for 100 seconds and gets 11 sacks. And I don't care what anyone tells me, they lost to Auburn. They got the game handed to them. So I don't know how elite Oklahoma's defense is. I know they're good, but how elite? They haven't really they won't face an actual offense until Ole Miss. And then they play Tennessee the next week. That's their first 2 offenses they will have played.
I think Oklahoma's defense is really good.
Yeah, I do too.
But
he does make a good point in that.
Yeah,
they haven't seen anybody yet, because they did get a break with Michigan. That true freshman quarterback in that spot. That's a good break. That's a break you like having when you play one of those signature games.
Yeah, I agree they're good. I just keep hearing they're the best defense in the nation, and I'm like, well, let's see them against someone that can actually move the ball.
I think Ohio State might have the best defense.
The total in that game, guys, is 42.5.
That's more than I thought it would be.
42.5 in Oklahoma, Texas.
See, maybe they think, maybe in that
they're
42, they thinking John Mateer's going to play.
There's zero question about that, John.
Because Michael Hawkins is not going to get you 17 points.
And Arch Manning ain't getting you 31 by himself. No offense to him.
The only way that overhits is if they somehow sneak into overtime and kick field goals and somehow.
Yeah.
That's about the only way I see that happening.
Or crazy defensive scores in these games. You have to allot for that. You're right. Like those block kicks and things like that, I just don't know how people really, really gamble. I just, I play around with it. I don't know how. I mean, you have friends that are professional gamblers, so do I, that just sit there and it just seems like this sport these days is so hard.
but
to get a feel for.
But my friends that gamble have a lot of money and they do it for fun.
Yeah.
They're not doing it with the idea, man, I got to win this
I
bet
gotcha.
so I can pay my car note.
I gotcha.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
That's all I do.
Yeah,
So
well, that's fine.
About the only thing I've done this year was the Syracuse money line, or Tennessee Syracuse, and then Tennessee over the points. Because until they don't cover, I'm going to stay on it.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
And it's just fun money at that point.
Yep. And by the way, if you were betting the Titans the opposite way, you're like 18 games ahead. The guy down there.
You lost this week, though.
But you lost this week. But if you keep playing the Titans not to
won.
cover, if you keep playing the Titans not to cover, you're going to win a lot of money with that loser down there.
Can you make a parlay bet, like multiple bets as a parlay on one game?
Yeah.
Like what you could say, you could take Tennessee to to beat the spread.
Right.
Tennessee and Arkansas to beat the over.
Yes.
Okay.
And you could take like a first quarter number, a first half number. But Sammy, thank you, brother. Good talking to you.
See you guys.
Much love to you.
Man, I like Tennessee first quarter number with Heupel scripting plays against that defense.
That is a NB no-brainer. MB no-brainer. Okay? Our scripted stuff. Matt, what do we do? Do we score 14 on them first quarter? Is that what it's going to look like? Because they're so bad on defense.
Yeah, they're awful. It'd be a real disappointment if you don't get it 14. Yeah, I would think.
You would expect to have 28 at halftime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have 28 by the end of the first quarter.
That's what Notre Dame did to them. Notre Dame had 28 at halftime.
God.
They have more than that.
They had 42 at halftime.
42. And they only
What's the
faced
over
1 third down.
Under on third downs that Tennessee's defense will face, or the Arkansas's defense will have to face.
That's a great line, Bri. How many times will we be in third down in the first half? That'd be a fun little thing to think about. Because I'm telling you, you can change coaches and you can get a boost from that, but those players suck.
Well, I thought Dudley Dawson did a really good job of spelling that out for us, how bad they are talent-wise. He said they didn't invest in NIL dollars on the defense. They put it all on offense, so they ended up with half a team.
He said 6 or 7 touchdowns, like with a straight face, for the Vols. That's a lot of points. 7 touchdowns?
But you know what? With Heupel's offense against a bad defense, it's really not that outrageous.
Back to the phones we go. Hi, welcome in.
That would seem low to me.
You're on our TLD Logistics Overdrive. Overtime.
Hey, Tony, Steve, and Jasper.
Hey, Steve, welcome in.
Hey, you guys are thinking the same way I am about Petrino's entrance onto the field. How awesome would it be if Tennessee came through the tee, went to the sideline, and there's no Arkansas, and everybody's thinking, where's Arkansas? And then all of a sudden, you hear this engine revving down there in that tunnel in the south end zone.
Yep.
And then here he comes.
Here's Bobby.
Motorcycle.
On a hog.
Leading his thing. I said, I've been telling people, I'd send the Arkansas Athletic Department a check for $100, and I'd double my Amachi tailgate donation if he'd do that.
Let's freaking go, man. I'm going to get in touch with them.
Think how his team would respond to that. If that coach was that audacious,
yes,
that he'll take the worst moment of his life and take a humorous approach to it.
I think the stadium would go wild.
I love the term
like
I love audacious, because that would take a lot of audacity to do that. But, Steve, to your point, though, man, my favorite types of people are people that aren't afraid to laugh at themselves. Just kind of lean into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, this happened to me, man. I'm a human being.
Sure.
And this is kind of part of my life story. And now I'm a grandfather, but I still like women and, all that stuff.
Yeah, it would be hilarious. It would be the funniest thing that's happened in there since Vanderbilt ran through the tee. And I don't know John Adams may remember that story. I don't know.
Was that in
It happened
1990?
1979.
Okay.
No, I wasn't even here for that one.
Oh, okay. It's
No,
when
I was not.
Tennessee was.
Who was the Vanderbilt coach? Do you remember?
It was our grandfather of our backup quarterback.
McIntyre. Coach McIntyre.
And what happened is that's when Tennessee used to come out from the west, from underneath the east stands. And so, they would come through the tee from the east stands and go to their sidelines, and they did that. And then Vanderbilt came out from the south side down there, and the band was still on the field in the tee. And I looked down there, and I could see those Vanderbilt players turned around to McIntyre, kind of saying, "Can we do it? Can we do it?" And he started laughing and just pointed as if to say, "Go ahead." And they ran through the tee over to the Vanderbilt sideline.
I really admire that.
Why not? It's fun. Why not? Right?
It's college football, and these are kids.
I could see Diego Pavia leading the Commodores through there.
Yeah. Well, he'd have to run down all the way to the other end zone to do it.
Yeah, logistically that would be an issue.
What about the year Jerry DiNardo started that fight right there at the entrance? I was there, 1990. And
he wouldn't even say Tennessee. He'd say that school to the east.
Was that the 65-0 game?
Yes, it was.
Think about that. Jerry DiNardo loses his last game at Vanderbilt 65-0, and LSU hires him. You lose 65-0, get a better head coaching job.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't at that game, but
I was.
But
it was
anyway,
very funny.
We can hope he does it. It'd be hilarious.
Thank you, Steve. You're the man. I'll pass that along. If they do that, Steve's going to double his donation to Omachi. I wonder if we can. I wonder if we could tie him into a charitable work. Dudley Dawson seemed pretty nonplussed when I suggested that that he needs to do that. Dudley kind of likes it. Dudley had a sense of humor about it. Some guys in certain markets, John, would get offended by that in the SEC if you cracked on the football coach, but he's not one of them.
No.
But there are people that cover these teams. Bri, anybody come to mind that is an advocate for who they're covering? Bri, you got anybody in mind?
Amen.
Back to the
Davis
phone.
walked on water and turned it into wine, man.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome
Dante
in.
fumbled, man.
You're on the air. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's Brian from Columbus again.
Hey, Brian in Columbus. Welcome in, my friend.
I wanted to just go off a little bit on. I'm terming him Mark from Columbus, Big Ten Columbo, and I have a few things I wanted to ask you that helped me out going against them here. Tony, do you know when the last time Ohio State has lost to a Big Ten team not named Michigan or Oregon?
John, any idea? Matt, do you know?
I can't.
10 years, maybe?
I remember they lost to Illinois, but that's more than 10 years ago. I remember I was listening to the game. I was driving.
Was it Penn State in 2016?
There you go.
Are you kidding me?
Brian.
2017, Purdue. Not 16, but 17.
Columbus wants to
Oh,
tell
I remember
me
that game.
that's a great league.
I
Is
remember
Columbus
that game.
Is Columbus kidding us? What is he doing? Is he
Big Ten Columbo. There's only really two teams in the Big Ten for the last decade plus, and that's Ohio State and I guess Michigan, because they won a national championship 3 years ago.
Well, I think Ohio State and Oregon are right at the top now in college football, but the overall depth of that league is not comparable to the SEC. But the SEC, I don't think, has a team right now. I can't see a SEC team beating Ohio State on a neutral field.
We'll see.
You know what? Looking back on that Texas game,
Agreed.
Texas is lucky it didn't get out of that game with a worse loss.
No.
That was a close game.
Texas had the ball on their goal line like 3 or 4 times and didn't score.
They ran the. I know.
Texas should have beaten them. That's my read on that. Lumbo is a clown. Lumbo, if you're watching this, you're a clown. And if you're listening to this, you're a clown.
He is. He's probably a Ohio State homer, honestly. And he's just calling our show to mess with us.
Yep.
I have a few more things here, Tony.
Go right ahead.
Do you think Joey Aguilar is a leader?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And I'm not saying he goes out and screams at guys, but I think he's a guy that would earn the instant respect of his teammates because the way he's gone on about his business. Remember, he came here in the summer. He had to put a lot of work in to familiarize himself with the offense. And I think he's older than your average college student. And he's come up through the school of hard knocks. There's no doubt about that. He's proved himself again and again. And so he doesn't come in. He's not some 5-star coming in here and saying, okay, I'm going to save your program. No, he's just coming in here, wants to be a part of it. I think Joey Aguilar was genuinely excited about getting a chance to play at an SEC school like Tennessee. I think he's kind of living a dream, and I think that comes through when he talks to teammates and to anybody.
You know what's not going to surprise me, guys? If Joey Aguilar makes his home here. I'm being serious. It is. I think he's found a home. I think this place will always love him. He saved this season, guys. Imagine if they'd had to play that Merklinger guy. I mean, imagine that. Would you like to see us? Matt, what would that record be? And I'm not trying to knock the Merklinger guy.
Not at all.
But what would the record be, Matt?
I mean, you definitely get blown out by Georgia, and then you probably lose at Mississippi State.
You might still could have beaten Syracuse.
Yeah, you probably beat Syracuse.
I don't know, though. Syracuse was playing pretty good until Steve Angeli got hurt. Syracuse might have come in and won this game kind of like that Pitt team came in here and won that time a few years back.
That's a decent point. That guy saved our season, and he's got this kind of thing about him where he's sort of one of us. Joan Osborne.
Well,
Joey, I was just going to say, Joey football, one of the things, the sign of a good leader is you make others around you better. And I know y'all have been remarking about Star Thomas this season was not what you thought was coming through the NIL. And look at Brazil from last year to this year. Yes, he has the intangibles. He has the potential to be great. But this year, he is one of the best wideouts in college football. And I think Joey football helps that.
Well, he definitely helps it, and not just by – I think Joey Aguilar knows how to win football games. He's proved that in the past, and that's kind of a skill. And the quarterback position is so nuanced. There's so many things that go into it. And it's like when we had Watson Brown on a few weeks ago. It's kind of an obvious thing, but I hadn't really thought about it. He talked about Joey's predecessors here at quarterback with Nico and then with Joe Milton. All the times they overthrew wide receivers that were on a deep ball. And he's making the point, you should never overthrow on a deep ball because you want to give your receiver a chance to make a play, to beat the DB. If you're going to run that play and it's one-on-one, you don't throw into double coverage, but if it's one-on-one, you give Chris Brazil a chance to make a play.
How many deep balls, Matt, they throw on Saturday with Arkansas? What's the number?
Oh, gosh, probably 7.5.
But you know what? What was it? The way Notre Dame ran the ball on them, that was what was so significant to me about the Notre Dame-Arkansas game, was that Notre Dame, it wasn't like, well, we can do this on Arkansas's defense. Everything Notre Dame did were, do we want to run the ball or we want to throw it? Doesn't matter. They're all working. Oh, let's run a trick play. That'll work too.
I'll tell you what, hitting in plain sight, that was a damn good win by Miami beating that Notre Dame team. That's going to age well, I'm afraid, because Notre Dame doesn't play anybody.
Well, the Texas A&M win over Notre Dame is going to score some points. And you know what? We can't count Notre Dame out of the playoff because I look at that schedule now.
No, they're not losing anybody.
And I thought in preseason that Southern Cal could beat them. No, they're not beating them.
Anything else for us in the Lumbo?
Yeah. I'm definitely with Bino yesterday and saying at 10-2, Tony, I really do think we're going to be in the playoffs. Real quick, yesterday you didn't mention when the UCLA offensive coordinator, when they won the game, he was carried off the football field. Did you notice that, Tony?
Yes, he was.
That reminded me of
what did that remind us of? Buddy Ryan.
No,
in the Super Bowl.
It reminded me
of
Butch
Jones.
Yeah, in a sick, perverted way. After the Music City Bowl.
Why would you think about Butch Jones?
Because that so amused me. You know he insisted on the players carrying him off after the game.
He asked the players.
You know it was orchestrated.
Yes.
Because there was no way, after a win over an awful Nebraska team, that the players would be so revved up to say, oh, man, Coach did it for us. We won the Music City Bowl.
Do you think Butch would want the offensive coordinator's hair? From UCLA.
Oh
my gosh!
Man.
Are you kidding?
Boy, he'd be intolerable with a lot of blonde hair.
I love that guy's hair. Oh my gosh, man! I mean, you're not allowed to covet another man's hair, but
he just came off the beach, just got off his surfboard,
and his dad's in his 60s, and he still has great hair. Those bastards.
Yeah. I always like Rick Neuheisel.
What's the spoof? The Star Wars spoof, and that helmet head or whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly. That would be perfect on that. That kid, I'm not sure you can mess that kid's hair up. God, that kid's good looking. I'm putting him right up there with Tony Valls on my Mount Rushmore.
Is he a young
good
Tony Valls? Maybe he'll be the Tennessee football coach one day.
Maybe.
Hey, I'm going to leave it at this on the way out, as everyone says. I'm just joyful to have a team, have players, have a coach, have a fan base. We're in it. We're having fun. We're talking every day. We're debating. This is a lot of fun. Have a good day, y'all.
I totally agree with that. I think that the expanding of the playoff, while they've altered the sport, and it's incongruent with the reality of what used to be, it's almost like you've got two different games now in the playoff era. Somehow they've turned it into more of a conversational sport than it used to be with the 14. The 14 playoff was too limiting. The 12-team playoff is perfect because it creates tension, and 16 is going to be too many, John, when they do that. It's going to cut a lot of the drama out, but still, it'll still be interesting because it's college football.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I don't know, Tony. I think it's going to create even more discussion. You start going down and getting 16 teams. Can you imagine right now a 16-team playoff the way the SEC is set up? And that's why Greg Sankey didn't want him. You're guaranteed four. No, he wants to be able to get 7 or 8.
That's right.
The more teams you let in, the more discussion, the more teams think they have a chance to get in. Mm-hmm. And in a way, that makes it more appealing.
And the more...
Because when it was the 4-team playoff, I mean, there's really... less than 10 teams thought they were making it.
The more,
and now with the 16 teams in it, 12 teams in it, there's probably 20 plus, 25 plus that think they have a chance.
So does Penn State still thinks it has a chance to make playoffs?
Sure. They can beat Ohio State and run the table, and that's the only chance. Because they played their non-conference schedule, the old saying of Little Sisters of the Poor. I mean, that's pretty damn close to what they did. That's a disgraceful non-league schedule they play.
I know, but
and they lost.
UCLA looked as bad as any of those teams, just about.
Yeah.
When we watched them against New Mexico.
Oh yeah, no question.
They weren't thinking it's getting any tougher.
I'm with Matt, though. I think Tennessee throws more than 7 deep balls this weekend. But, John, and I think it's because they're going to be able to run. I think they're going to run early in that game and do whatever they want to do, and it's just going to open up the pass. Once they commit more guys to the box, it'll be bombs away.
I know they use 3 running backs, but I could almost see Star Thomas getting 150 yards rushing on these guys.
I feel you on that because he's got the wiggle and the shake.
Yes.
He really does. To the phones we go. That's been the most surprising thing to me is who he was thought to be and who he is. That's a nice job of scouting, whoever came up with him. Because he was like a kind of a late, under-the-radar add to what they were doing.
But I watched him at Duke last year. I thought he could be a 700-yard rusher in the SEC. But But the way he's making plays and he's eluding guys and running, breaking tackles.
That's my point.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't see that.
It looks like he must have trained hard and came in here quicker or something. He looks, wow. He's breaking guys' ankles, man. Matt, did you think Star Thomas was doing that?
No, I didn't think he'd be this good. No,
he's dynamic.
I mean, I knew
almost.
he'd be productive because all running backs are, but he's been a lot better than expected. He's a lot bigger, and he's fat. Like he's just a really solid back.
When you saw him running outside against Georgia and running away from those linebackers, and I know Georgia's not per se what they've been, but they're still pretty world-class athletically. That's pretty impressive. Hello and welcome into our next call on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's David Ackworth.
Hey, Dave. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. Hey, couple things. First off, Nico's performance was unbelievable, but I'm still just I'm dumbfounded that Penn State went that whole game and basically never put a spy on Nico, and I think that's why what we saw Saturday was not the coming out party of Nico. I think it was an aberration.
One shot.
These other schools in the Big Ten are going to put him in a blender from now on. He's not going to be able to do what he did Saturday with I don't think anybody else, and I think it starts even at Michigan State, who doesn't have a great defense, but they're going to take the Rick Barnes approach. Which is, hey, we're not going to let that guy beat us. If somebody else on the team wants to beat us, fine. But we're not going to let that guy beat us like he did Penn State.
Well, Tony and I were talking yesterday about all the money Penn State paid its defensive coordinator to lure him away from Ohio State. Jim Knowles, who's one of the more revered defensive coordinators in college football, he didn't have a clue about. He wasn't ready for that Nico version.
No, which is kind of weird because he kind of saw that Nico version. Was he there last year at Ohio State?
Yeah, he did.
So he saw Nico. He saw that Nico version last year.
All right, but think about Nico running against Ohio State for Tennessee. It was like he was kind of desperate running, and he didn't run. He wasn't scrambling.
He looked like a fluid athlete out there the other day. For the first time since I've been watching him.
I know. When he was playing for
what
Tennessee,
are we doing here?
It's kind of like he had a brace on his legs.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this: I am cheering for UCLA to go 3-9 this year with their three wins: Penn State, Ohio State, and Indiana. That's my dream season for UCLA. We can cheer against him for the other 9 games, and then hope he wins those 3, which only helps us. So
that'd be very ironic.
Be awesome.
That'd be very ironic if that happened.
Yeah. It's who was the guy that left Tennessee that went to play at A&M?
Brandon Stewart. He beat
Brandon Stewart.
He beat Kansas State in the playoff.
Never be forgotten by the living fan.
And that was and Kansas State would have that would have been a tougher game for Tennessee in the championship.
That Michael Bishop guy, we don't fare well with guys like him down through the years.
No, absolutely not. Hey guys, one thing we haven't talked about, or I don't think there's been much talk about it. We need Alabama to win Saturday against Missouri. I know we've talked about this, and we don't talk about Missouri enough. They're finally going to go on the road to Auburn on the 18th of this month for the first time this year.
Odd schedule.
It's the most ridiculous looking schedule I've ever seen. And if Vandy was playing being typical Vandy, their schedule overall would be an absolute joke. An absolute joke. And literally, they play their last two games of the season on the road. One of them at Arkansas. They play at Vandy. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But if Alabama goes over there and lays an egg, and then comes back and we have to play them that next week, I don't think that bodes well for us. But I think it would bode well not only for us if Alabama wins, but it also bodes well for us. Missouri we need Missouri to lose a few games, because I don't even know. Tony, you've talked about it. How do you rank these teams? I can't rank them because I have no idea what Missouri's like. None whatsoever.
When you're in a league this size, you can get a team hide in plain sight on you like Missouri. That's a danger.
If Missouri had Oklahoma's schedule, it's at best 7-5.
That's what Indiana did last year. You can hide in plain sight, man, based on your schedule.
You get in a big conference, and if you go to a 16-team playoff, there will be teams that sneak into the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
And then get absolutely hammered in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or vice versa, just like last year. Ohio State loses at home in the last game to their rival, and then rolls through the playoffs. And I don't think anybody saw that coming. But Tony, what's it going to be like? If we're seeing this chaos this year, and I know we've talked about it, this 9-game schedule next year is going to be a bloodbath of epic proportions, because we don't even know from year to year who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. All this thing about making sure you try to balance out the schedules, that goes out the window now. We have no idea from year to year who's going to be good and bad.
When I try to predict who will be good, I think of NIL resources. I mean, Texas is kind of disproving that theory right now, but Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, those teams have NIL money.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, Texas isn't proving anything right now, though, John.
I know but let's let the season play.
I think you're right.
Year in and year out. Year in and year out.
But Dave's got a good point, though, because how could you predict Vanderbilt? How can you make sense of that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is news to me. Maybe Vanderbilt's getting NIL money. We had Dudley Dawson call an expert on Arkansas football, told us that some of the big money people in Fayetteville area with Walmart and so forth, they're giving money to Missouri now, right across the state line.
I couldn't imagine letting that happen.
And you think about Missouri, it's got St. Louis on one side and Kansas City on the other. You think about recruiting bases. Well, now you got to think about NIL resources. If you got two metropolitan areas, that means you might have some wealthy people there who might happen to be fans of yours, and they could contribute. So
that poverty program still doesn't need to be in this conference. It just galls me that they're here, and I think. But you're right. You measure it now in NIL, and I tell you what the deal is with Vanderbilt. We saw it in that stat that they threw out last week. 20%, 22% of their roster are graduates. Now, I don't know if they're all graduate transfers, but they're all graduates.
Whose roster?
So they built that program like
league.
a mid-major basketball team that shows up in the tournament with a whole bunch of seniors and fifth-year seniors and a few transfers and surprises people. That's exactly how he's built that football team.
Well, the main thing you need in college football today is the Cody Campbell that Texas Tech has. A billionaire who wants to invest in your football program.
A money mark, if you will.
Yeah, if you got that, you got a chance.
Yep, one money mark.
Yeah, Hey, guys, y'all have a great one.
In fact, Patino up there at St. John's found one money mark. The guy at UCLA, the bald head doesn't work for him, Cronin, has one money mark who is a huge LA executive in the movie business. I want to say he's like an agent, and he gives him like $7 million to spend. Just one, all you need. You need one money mark. Imagine, Matt, if you were like super wealthy, could you imagine giving the Vols $7 million to spend? I mean, I'm glad these people do it, I guess. But it's
you have to do it like every season.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Belly up to the bar every year, $7 million.
Wouldn't you want to help some impoverished family?
I mean, at some point I would think about that, yeah.
If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't sleep well knowing that I gave it to a teenager to play football.
Teresa Walker reports the following. John, I want you to confirm nor deny this, since you're a voter. The AP Top 25, with Memphis coming in at 23 this week, okay? This gives the state of Tennessee 3 times in the rankings for the first time ever.
3 teams.
3 teams, rather. Do you confirm?
Vanderbilt, Memphis,
and the Vols. Do you confirm nor deny that that's the first time ever, John?
Well, I've been here since '87. I used to vote in the poll every year. I'm just thinking what about when James Franklin was at Vanderbilt? Didn't it crack the top 25? But I don't know if Memphis did.
Memphis was cratering
Memphis
at that point.
Was bad, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be. I'm sure.
It was the Larry Porter era. And plus Tennessee wasn't very good either.
No, if Teresa wrote that, she'll have it right, I guarantee you.
Second item up for bids here, boys, and I want you guys to tell me how you plead to this. If you're innocent or guilty, the second item up for bids is this. This comes from Maury Hanks' boy, Jonathan Givoni of Draft Express. Maury loves him. 37 scouts from 29 NBA teams attended Tennessee's Pro Day. 37 scouts from 29 teams to go see Nate Ament and a few of his teammates play basketball. Is that any good, John?
Wow.
Who's the team that didn't come?
37 scouts from 29 teams. Probably somebody probably the Sixers. Truth be told.
Well, golly, that's. But see, I don't have context for that. How many scouts usually show up for teams?
For the Vols? Like annually? Probably 5.
That's probably never happened.
That's got to be a record
there for basketball.
Is it all about Nate Ament?
I don't know. They got 3 or 4 guys that have aspirations, so we'll see what happens. One thing Barnes has done, man. Hey, Barnes has made it cool. It's he's made country cool.
Since you brought up basketball and we've been talking NIL, I think that is a huge factor. SEC basketball putting 14 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's SEC people, I know it's a football league, but SEC fans want to be good in stuff. And they want to be good in the NCAA tournament. And so they got this money and they're spending all this money and they look at basketball and say, well, we could just get 3 or 4 really good players and we can win something.
That's why I've never understood why Tennessee all those years chose not to participate. It made no sense. You and I talked about that off the air. It made 0 sense.
We need to get Doug Dickey out to Calhoun's Friday, and he can ask him that, and he can say, Tony, I got to go.
Celebrate all the basketball success he had. Because you talk about a guy that did not want to win in basketball, that was your guy right there. No offense to him.
But now look at the SEC.
Oh, my gosh.
And
a guy like him's got to shake his head at the SEC. Those old football coaches.
Yeah, because
why in the world are they doing that?
And last year, you might not have 14 teams again.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a bunch of teams.
Wait till they go to 76 teams. I'm sure Matt loves that. Matt, I haven't even asked you about that. How stupid is that, Matt? Why are we playing a season? 76 teams in, Matt.
No, not sure. Just another money grab.
I mean, that's not even like making it look over TV. It's such a naked money grab.
Give them a coffee mug when the fans come in the
For
stadium.
$40.
For $40.
And a ticket stub for $30.
$30.
Matt, Bride, John, any final thoughts here? We've gone 2 hours and 15 minutes, or an hour and 15 minutes.
That's probably too long.
I'd say.
I would, just crank up your Harleys and get your neck brace. And let's roll.
Matt, any final thoughts?
No. Good show. A lot of topics and very good conversation. It's good to be back after missing last week.
Thank you, brother. We're glad to have you back, man. Thank you. Brian Hartman, thank you. T to the G to the M to the D. Check him out today on the blog. You can see how he ranks the SEC teams. You can also see he has a statistical breakdown of the Vols who are surprising me in some places. Surprising me. But we'll put our own rank. I'm going to put my own rankings up there tomorrow. It's so hard to rank these teams. So hard. If I really wanted to get controversial with it, I'd rank them on where I thought these teams would finish. But I don't want to make anybody mad in my home market. So I just don't want to do that.
You already have.
What do you mean?
By saying you don't want to do that.
Well, I don't want to do that.
I know. But that's implying that you don't think they'll finish well.
Till we meet again, I love you. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the radio. Cinco will be here. Watson Brown will be here, and we'll be breaking it down scientifically. To the callers that I couldn't get on today, I love you, and I appreciate you. I wish we shared some time today. I really do. Appreciate you. Peace. All right, let's run today's show back, shall we? In the form of a clap in your hands. I already got him. Already did it. Thank you. All right, give me 1 sec here, John, and I'll. Oh, no, I am. I'm going to see you out. Talk to you. I'm going to see you out. Hang on. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. How's Brownie doing, John? I need to call him. He's doing okay. Is he? Well, how old's Coach Brown these days?
Early 80s.
Who I love. Is he still out there running every day?
I don't know. He's fighting allergy problems. He told me he's always had bad allergies.
Yeah, me too.
I'm telling you that Realtris nasal spray has turned it around.
Really? Realtris?
Yeah, I'm allergic to everything.
That's what I am too.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.